Hey, what's going on, guys? I can't believe it. It's a privilege. We're back here again for another episode of Access
Live
Vegas.
from Las Vegas, Nevada.
We have so many people in this room right now. I swear to God, I feel like we're in Miami. Here we go. Here's our guest for today. We'll just get to it right now. She's one of the top creators on OnlyFans, and she's also a therapist. Welcome, Miss Annalise Mishler. How you doing, Annalise?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Beautiful,
I don't know
beautiful.
where I'm supposed to fucking look.
No, just look at me. Just look at me. He's a tech consultant. He has channel Black Ice Reality Check, and he can be somewhat acrimonious, which is why we love having him on here. This is my man, Mr. Dabrick. How you doing, man?
Awesome. Thanks for having me on, Mike.
Of course.
Rolo?
Yep. Definitely. She is an exotic dancer and a poker player. She's a professional poker player. Miss Allie Summers. How you doing today, Allie?
I'm good, thank you.
Beautiful. Did we get there she is. All right, awesome. Going back over to this side. This is Bree Summers. She's from Bun Uncensored. She's on my podcast. She's going to be coming out next week. Excited to have you, Bree. How you doing?
I'm amazing. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. She is also one of the top OnlyFans creators in the world. An incredible businesswoman. Miss Brandy Andrews in the house. What are you doing, Brandy?
Good.
You're excited? There we go. That's why I love it. She graduated summa cum laude from University of Pittsburgh. She works at XS, and she discovered she was a witch back in 2020. That is correct. This is Gia Bia. How you doing, Gia?
I'm wonderful.
Nice, nice. And she is a model. She's a dog foster mom and a cocktail server at Tao Beach. It is Miss Michelle Brittany Martin. I call her Brittany. How you doing, Michelle?
I'm good.
Awesome, awesome. And then finally over here we have she is the owner of. She's the owner. You can see her on MTV. She's the owner of Uncensored Skin. It is Miss Allie Adams. How's it going, Allie?
Hi.
Hey, what's going on? And she was a world finalist for Swimsuit USA's World Championship from Frog Level, Arkansas, by way of Houston, Texas. It is Kylie McGay. Hey, how you doing, Kylie?
I'm good.
All right, nice. All right, we'll get this thing started. This is 11 of us in a room, and it's getting hot in here. Now, you had a bunch of questions you wanted to open up.
I got
before we go on.
we got things to start with. We have protocol.
Okay.
We have protocol to go through. Okay, so first of all, I'm wearing this because I actually got injured. This is doctor's ordered, so don't think I'm trying to look cool. It does look cool, but I'm not.
How does that help your injury?
Well, out here, I'll show you. It's a compression sock is what it is, and that's how I ripped myself up pretty bad over the week. So, yeah, there you go. I'll explain later. Let's see. No, we have one question we have to ask at least the guys. And do we want to roll around?
Yeah. So what's the question?
Okay. Last time Myron and Fresh were on here, and we ran. I think that was the last show we did.
Yes.
Was the Fresh and Fit show that was here. And one of the questions that the guys always ask is for the girls to name 3 countries.
Are you joking me?
No. Do you think you
countries
could?
with the letter G.
Do you think you could? Do you think you could? Can you name 3 countries? Should we go and have the girls before? Because Mike and I talked about this afterwards, and we're like, you know what? That sounds kind of unfair. I think the guys should have to answer 10 countries.
Hold on. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. They're using it as sort of like a criticism. For me, the thing is, I feel like the reality of the situation is we have one of the most scientifically illiterate populations on the planet. Like literally compared to any other country. This is men and women that don't understand physics, mathematics, or especially geography. And so one of the things they do is try to say if you can name 3 countries. So if you guys can name 3 countries, what did you want to do?
No, I want to do the guys have to name 10 countries.
So
first.
the three, ladies, you don't have to name 3 countries. The 3 of us men have to name 10 countries. That's the answer.
But wait. Why does it have to be a men thing? Like, why are you?
No.
Do you want to do it? No.
Why do you believe that we're incapable of naming 3 countries?
No, we're not.
I'm just curious. Like, pick a letter, and I'll name 3 countries with that letter.
Gia, you can do this.
Yeah.
Time we do this with just the women. We never make the guys answer this question. So
Okay.
we're making ourselves answer. Does that make sense, Gia?
We'll come back around to the girls.
I see.
Okay. Now I want to make this just slightly more difficult for the guys. Okay.
Okay.
So you name one, I name one, you name one. We have to go around. They cannot be the same country.
Right. Yeah.
So a
You have
total
to
of
come
10
up-
altogether.
A total
Yeah.
of 10. So I need you guys to keep track. Whatever girl wants to do that, keep track of how many we've said. Okay. And we cannot name the same country.
Okay.
All right.
We'll just be
So let's start with the guest first. Name one country.
Austria,
Very good.
Kenya,
Algeria,
Bulgaria,
Uganda,
Namibia,
Italy,
Tanzania,
Colombia,
Turkey,
Botswana,
the United Arab Emirates,
Iran,
Ghana,
Djibouti,
Iraq.
Somalia.
Eritrea.
Somebody keep a track. Thailand.
They're making
That's
this up.
Eritrea.
Thailand,
Egypt.
Kingsland,
New Zealand,
Madagascar. Madagascar.
the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Did somebody say Germany?
Jeez.
No.
No.
Germany,
Liechtenstein.
Sweden,
Brazil,
Smallest country, I think.
What is this?
Got to be way more than 10.
The
Brazil.
Philippine Islands.
The Vatican City.
Oh, it's a total of 30.
How many we got
30,
so?
yeah.
How many we got so
It's total
far?
of 30 because you're doing 10
10
each.
What's the tally so far?
You're at 28.
We're at 20.
You're at 28.
We're 28.
So it's
Okay,
10
so we
each,
got
30.
Chile.
Two more. Let's go.
Chile.
Chile. Colombia.
We already said
You already
Colombia.
Okay.
Rolls out.
Oh.
We are in a country currently.
Ecuador.
I know.
Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan.
Nobody mentioned my three, like...
Venezuela.
I mean, you're at 30. You're at 30 right
Oh,
now.
we're already. Okay, so we did.
You're at
We
30.
did it.
We
No one
did it.
said United States.
South
No one said
Africa.
Canada.
Nobody
like-
said Peru, United Kingdom.
No, we're staying away
China,
from. We're staying away from.
Wait,
Western,
which one of those?
first world
Time
countries.
out. Which one of those countries that you named were the smallest?
It'd be the Vatican City.
Vatican City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Which one was the largest?
Rhode Island. Someone say Australia.
Rhode Island.
Did anyone say China? I don't
No,
think.
the
No,
largest.
they didn't say
The
China or
largest.
Asia.
The largest by landmass is Russia.
No,
Okay.
Vietnam.
Antarctica. No, that's a continent.
It's a continent.
Continent.
Yeah.
Continent.
Nobody can be
The
on
most
there.
remote.
It's not supposed to be on there, but-
Liechtenstein.
No, they can be on there. The Earth
What's
is not.
Kingsland?
The
Wait,
Earth
you
is-
said Kingsland?
Kingsland is a
Liechtenstein.
it's a country next to South Africa.
You said Djibouti. What the?
Djibouti.
Djibouti.
The capital. The capital of Djibouti is Djibouti. Djibouti is on the horn. It's on the horn. It's DJU. It's Djibouti.
Yes.
It's on the Horn of Africa.
You heard Djibouti
I'm-
and Liechtenstein in the same show.
I may or not have flown. May or may not have flown over it when I was in the Air Force.
There, just so that
In
I can
Djibouti?
see.
No, you are never going to Djibouti. None of you will ever in your entire life set
going
one
to-
foot in Djibouti.
Just because someone said I cannot, I'm not.
You will never.
all go
None
to
of you will
Djibouti
ever
now.
go to
Let's
Djibouti.
all go to Djibouti now.
All right. Now, should we have the girls' name?
All right, ladies, you want to try this?
You want to try it? 3. You got to do.
I mean, like you could like
I just named my
Category,
three.
We all kind of already
Pick a-
named
pick a
someone. Y'all were doing
continent.
it, so it's kind of pointless
pick
now.
a continent. I'll name 3. Like pick any continent.
We know
United
you will.
States
Wait, Europe?
of America.
Africa.
Africa, South Africa.
Okay.
Okay, Uganda.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and Egypt.
I already
Anybody
named,
else wanna
I already
try?
named
Bam.
those, so you have to like come up with 2.
I think we should do a spelling bee.
I'm good at that. I'm much better at that.
All right.
Fuck the
Name
countries.
three countries.
Oh, well,
And speak into the mic.
I just did it. Peru, Ukrainian, and United Kingdom.
Well, it'd be Ukraine, but yes,
Ukraine,
correct.
yeah. Sorry,
Yes.
Ukraine and United Kingdom.
The United Kingdom is actually several countries, but you're correct. Britain is the country, Wales is a country, Ireland is a
Yeah.
country, and Scotland is a
My
country.
mom
Thank you
was
for
born in
naming
UK.
Huh?
so many.
Kylie, you need to name 3 countries, and one cannot be Arkansas.
Well,
That is a country.
Kind of.
Asia, China, and California should be considered its own country.
Right. Name
Okay, we made
Wales.
3. Wales.
Wales is a country. Yeah,
It is
that
a
is
country.
Wales is a country. All right, do you guys want to? We can move on from this. Is there any other questions that you
No,
want?
I wanted to make sure we got that out of the way.
Every, just so you guys know who don't know this, every week the guys sometimes on Fresh and Fit and other shows, they do this, and I don't specifically want to embarrass people, but the thing is, it's really interesting. I'm a U.S. Air Force navigator.
it's
I know
so
I can probably name 170 countries. The problem is, like, so many people just don't know, or they think Asia is a country, or Africa is a country.
Is
or
Asia
something
not a
like
country? You
I
told me it
don't
was,
even-
so now
Asia's not a country.
Continent.
I asked you if it was a country, and you were like, "Yeah." That's why I just said it.
The more white claws you
Nobody
have,
listened to
the
Michael.
more they
Nobody
become-
listened to
How many
Michael.
countries are there?
Lesson learned.
It depends on like who you listen to, but sometimes it's like 200, sometimes it's like in the 190s. It depends. Yeah, it depends.
Do they only ask about countries? Because I feel like in your day-to-day life, like that doesn't really fucking matter. Like, why don't we ask like?
No, it's
Name-
It's an.
Okay, hold on. Wait, stop. This is great. This is a great transition.
Yeah.
So one of the problems is, while you're correct, and that may not matter in everyday life, you could also make the same extrapolation about mathematics or biology or stuff like
Yeah.
that. But when you do that, you end up with 4% of millennials believing the Earth is flat. That's the problem. There are people who believe the fucking Earth is flat. You end up with like misinformation when it comes to different biological ideas or misinformation. Like, for instance, here I got one for you. There's a war between Ukraine and Russia right now. Okay, got it? Yeah. The world's total domestic product is $96 trillion. The United States domestic product is $23 trillion. So 1/4 of the planet's money goes through the United States. You guys still with me? Okay. The next biggest economy on the planet is China at $17 trillion. And then there's big bad Russia. Anybody know what Russia's economy is? Anybody?
What the
Probably
numbers?
the American dollar.
Nothing.
though,
It is
isn't it?
nothing.
No.
compared to any of those.
They all follow the American dollar. That's why this big ordeal with like them changing the American
many-
dollar.
You're talking about the brick, and that's something completely different. What is the gross domestic product of the Russian Federation? Anybody want to take a guess?
Negative something.
Kylie knows.
What? Which I'm sure I talked about yesterday. It is $1.7 trillion. 1.7. They have an economy smaller than Italy. But we believe that Russia is like this big bad nuclear power that's going to like take over Europe, and they're not.
Remind me never to play Risk with you.
Oh, for sure. We get fucking destroyed. Anyway, we've gone way off topic. We're supposed to do a show on
Do you
intersectional
think any of the
dynamics.
ladies on the table could point to Ukraine on a map?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Without a
I
shadow of
thought
a doubt.
Alaska and Hawaii were by each other
Oh.
because they're by each other on a map.
They are by each other in an
So-
ocean.
People are taught wrong.
But what is Alaska by?
Canada.
down there?
Oh.
Canada is correct. Some in a way.
Washington.
It is, but what is what? But it
Not
literally can
Hawaii.
touch China's. That's the whole thing.
Okay.
No,
Could you-
Russia.
It's Russia.
Russia.
Is it Russia or is it?
Yeah. Or
is it Tibet?
No, it's Russia.
Russia.
All right. So just so you guys know,
terrible at
Speaking of
geography.
Tibet,
the Western-
suck my tongue, anybody?
yes. Okay, so we can talk about that. The western part,
Liechtenstein.
the western part of Alaska used to be there's a small archipelago of islands that goes between that and Russia. That used to be during the Ice Age. The water levels were lower, and that's where the Native Americans
just
came.
walk. You could
You
just
could
walk
walk
across,
across what's
yeah.
called the Bering Strait.
Yeah.
You could walk across that about 11,700 years ago. Before that, you could walk across.
I'll
and that's
take
where the Native
ancient
Americans-
geography
Ancient
for
geography.
800, Alex.
Yeah.
Aleutian Islands?
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
That might be it. Oh, okay. Did anybody see the video of the who was
Dalai
it?
Lama?
The Dalai Lama getting that little boy to
man.
suck his
I
tongue?
couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it.
So uncomfortable.
I couldn't watch it either. As soon as he stuck his tongue out and I saw
think he
it,
said-
But it brings you back to like Catholic priests and little boys, right? Like, let's be real. Like, this is a topic that's like
And
taboo.
here we go.
It's like a super taboo topic.
fuck it. Let's just get canceled. I'm going to say this right now.
Let's just-
I am sick and tired of TikTok saying that these people who go on there who look like 12-year-old girls can wear Daisy Duke pants and do coordinated dances and everything is fine, and a woman even has a small, tiny butt, and she's fucking canceled on that platform. That shit is so ridiculous to me. I don't understand why they do it, but these underage girls are allowed to do anything they want on this platform. Any woman who looks even the slightest bit feminine or woman-like gets canceled on that fucking platform.
Yeah,
It
let's
doesn't make
cancel
any
these
sense.
fucking old ass men that are like pedophilia.
Wait,
Like, let's be
what?
real.
Yeah.
Huh? On
Let's-
TikTok.
I know, but who is in the wrong for doing it?
TikTok is in
The
the
people
wrong.
running it.
Oh,
Annalise, have you ever lost an account on Instagram or TikTok?
both. Yeah.
Okay. Did they tell you why?
Yeah, they said I'm an underage person. I'm like, I'm 28, bitch.
Okay. They said because you were
They
underage?
think I'm a minor. Yeah.
Wow. Holy shit. Okay. Did you?
I mean, that make, yeah. I could
How many
see.
people are shadow banned on Instagram?
I think
Shadow
I
man on
was at one
TikTok.
point.
Yeah,
I
shadow banned
lost
on
my
TikTok.
I lost my old TikTok. I mean,
Yeah.
just about 3
Yeah,
months
the
Shadow
fake
banned
account
on
pops up
YouTube.
before the real
I
account.
got-
It's crazy.
Shadow
I
banned on
got,
Twitter.
my old
Shadow
account, my old
Yeah.
account on Instagram, it actually got shadow banned and disabled, so I had to create a new one just for work. But my old one got disabled and canceled just because I made a joke because Michael, something about like Christian mingle.
Yeah. So it wasn't because like
I
that.
know,
What
it's
happened was
just weird.
It was
A lesson learned.
Something about Christian mingle, like I said,
a bunch of people like reported. It was insane
Yeah.
what happened. They just so what's happened? Like Davrick, we don't see this as men because most guys don't like obsess over us. But what'll happen is there'll be these weird dudes online and they'll just start mass reporting girls. They'll start mass reporting girls for like no reason. I've seen girls lose their account for animal cruelty. There's no animals on the account.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that'll happen. But like somebody will like I did one where I made a funny post. I was like, everyone who got the smallpox vaccine in 1687 is now dead. Think about that. And I got my account taken down for that. It's like 1687. It was a fucking joke, and it was so crazy. Somebody's thing.
As far as like, I was talking to you guys about getting shadow banned myself,
Right.
right? I've been shadow banned for like on
Why
Instagram
are
for
you?
God knows how long. Well, because I can post this for Access Vegas. You guys can post this on your Instagram.
Not
But if
really.
I post it in a reel or a story, I will have somebody report me for nudity, and I'm serious. And if the clocks start the clock over again. And I was telling this. I was telling Black Eyes here, Dabbert. I was telling you that like one of the shots that I put on Instagram was a guy who was going to jump off a bridge, who was going to commit suicide. And these guys were like holding on to the guy.
Saving his life.
They're like hanging on to him until
Right.
the EMTs got there or until the parent, whoever the rescue people were going to come. And they were holding him on there because they didn't want him to jump off, right? I'm like, this is a good example of guys like banding together to save another man's life, right? I put that on there. Sorry. Bam. Shadow ban for that shot.
It's funny you said that because I had strikes a year ago because I was commenting back. People were coming at me, right? And I was going back and forth.
just
And
happened to me, yeah.
Articulating, say, well, actually, here's the facts and data. I get strikes. So now on my Instagram, all the followers, they go at it with people. I don't even comment anymore because I don't want any strikes. Because if they tag me,
I get reported as well.
yeah, I get reported. So if the guy and a gal go at it on my Instagram and he gets flagged, they remove him and not me. So I just stop commenting.
I mean, I think the problem though on the internet is that people are it's so hypocritical, right? So you have people that are literally judging you like a microscope and have so much to say about you, but then like are just in their personal lives are just so fucking hypocritical. And cancel culture itself is a hypocritical notion, right? So it's bullying people on the internet. Like you literally have people that have opinions about something and you're trying to cancel them for feeling a certain type of way about it, and you have people bullying, but like the whole idea is like, oh well, like we're anti-bullies, but we're bullying people on the internet.
Will use the same tactics.
That's the whole concept of cancel culture. It's literally people are hypocrites on the internet.
Well, the other thing is it doesn't work. Like after President Trump lost his Twitter, he was the most Googled person on the planet. And after Andrew Tate lost his accounts, he was the most Googled person on the planet. It doesn't work. Like the people actually become more. Here's the other thing: when you canceled Andrew Tate, you put him on the same level as a former U.S. president. Do you not see what you did? Like it's so crazy to me that people thought that this was just going to go out. Even if you completely disagree with everything he's saying, when you do this, it simply doesn't work. People become more popular when they become martyred whenever they do this, and they don't even act like. Here's the other thing: there was no explanation. I'll just go with the Trump thing. There was an explanation. With the Andrew Tate thing, there wasn't. And all of his accounts, he lost his Uber, he lost his Postmates, he lost every single account. It was which shows you what it was a coordinated effort between several of these tech companies, right?
And he went to jail though, right?
No, this is a year before he went to jail. This is way before he went to not in a year, but 8 months before he went to jail. That whole thing happened, and when this happens, cancel culture just doesn't work. That's one of the problems that happens. Is like it actually makes people more popular whenever you do this shit. And again, like you don't believe me,
Steve will do it. Steve will do it.
Hold on. Go look at the numbers go look at the numbers right now for InfoWars. For fucking Alex Jones. They're even higher. Like, it's crazy what's happened. Like, and these people just don't understand that when you do not allow for democratic discourse, this is the problem you get. The way, if you have a problem with what some of the things that Alex Jones says, like, for instance, I don't believe in weather machines, I would have a debate with him about weather machines. I wouldn't sit there and go off and be like, well, let's just get rid of them because we don't believe in fucking weather machines. That's the problem.
No,
and here's the other thing.
Cheney has a weather
here's the other thing. It works both ways. He's allowed to say whatever he wants, and then in civil court, they can sue him for him saying that the whole Sandy Hook thing was faked. It works both ways. But never should we be canceling people for saying shit that we disagree with. When Kanye West started saying his shit, keep talking. I never wanted him to stop talking.
Exactly.
Dude, there's a show called The Barbershop that is produced by Maverick Carter and LeBron James. It is filmed in Panorama Towers in Miami, in Brickell, right? And on that show, Kanye comes on and they cancel the episode because Kanye was saying things that were hateful. And my point is, no, produce the fucking show. That's what you should do. Yeah. It's like, again, I want to know when people are literate. I want to know when, like, I have this incredible candidate. I love everything he has to say. And then it turns out he's a fucking Scientologist. Sorry. I need to know. I need people to talk as much as
It's like this whole thing with the red pill, right? Now, the FBI. You're considered an extremist. You're considered extremist if you say base.
Okay, so can we talk about that? So let's give a little context what you're saying. So now there's an article that just came out that the terms red pill.
Yep.
What are the other ones?
Based.
I wore my based shirt through the airport.
Those terms are now flagged by the FBI. Whenever you have this, what are the other ones? It's what are they? There's four.
Chad, Stacy.
Chad is one of them.
LARPing.
Literally Chad. The word
LARPing.
Chad.
Yeah. Wait, are you saying Chad?
Chad, like the name
Charlie.
Chad.
Charlie Hotel Alpha Delta.
Yes, the name of your ex-boyfriend.
Yeah. So those things, those are considered
Stacy.
Those are considered
I'm surprised
extremist
that Go
words.
Brandon wasn't on that list, but
what it's crazy because you can't even say a word that has to do with the Matrix. Like they take it the wrong way. They take it out of context.
Well, remember, it's a warning list. It's to like raise awareness at this point. It's not like they're actually like they're not sending you to jail for being red.
It's just ridiculous.
For being the godfather of the red pill.
I mean, I think the importance of all this is that like people can have different opinions, and that's okay, right? Like whatever you feel, and maybe you don't agree with someone.
But it's not okay. It's not okay anymore.
I mean, I guess to certain people, it's not okay. But I think one thing that people are failing to realize on the internet is like it's so hypocritical, right? Because like you might feel very differently than I do, and then I'm going to attack you and basically say that like your opinions are just dog shit, not true, right? But like you have every right to feel that way, and what you think is very valid, and what I believe is very valid. Right. Both can coexist at the same time, and I think that's what people forget to realize is that two very different theories, opinions, whatever, can coexist at the same time, and that's okay. And I think silencing people is
until they annihilate one another.
Silence people, it doesn't do anything good.
So Gia, I agree with you that we shouldn't silence anybody. I don't agree that certain theories can, like OJ can kill and not kill Nicole. You are not pregnant and not pregnant at the same time. There is not, and not everything. Can be true.
That's honestly though. But that's we got into this debate. But that's because you live in the realm of is and isn't, and
Yes,
me
correct.
and you.
That's what that book is about. Yes.
But and I live in the world of could be or couldn't.
No,
be.
but I live in the same world. But there has to be evidence for what could be and couldn't be.
Correct. We live in the same world, but those two worlds. And I'm not saying that your world is wrong and my world is right, and yours or vice versa. And that's I feel like that's the is and isn't kind of category
I
of
feel like
things,
I've
a
right,
belief
like
system.
possibility and probability.
No,
Yeah.
she's talking about astrology.
No,
That's
I'm
what-
not just talking about astrology.
Okay.
In everything in life, I truly, in anything in life, I do really believe. I believe that like your opinion is very valid, and it doesn't make your opinion, your belief, your experience, your perspective any less true or valid, right? That's
No,
what you feel.
It's not any less
absolutely
valid.
does.
It's not any less valid, but it is less true.
Not,
It is less true.
no.
and that's because you live in the world of is and isn't.
Well, no. That's because I live in the world of U.S. military officers flying aircraft over Iraq and
I've been
Afghanistan.
in
There is
many
only
debates with
is or
Michael.
isn't. There is no interpretation.
Same thing.
There is no interpretation. There is or isn't. We live in the real world. That is the only way you can live.
But your perception of the real world could be very different of my perception of the real world.
No. When I say, hold on.
Absolutely.
When I,
Correct. But
Here
but
it
my
goes.
perception is not less or right or more valid than your perception.
No. The
That's
difference,
the person.
but
It's a different
hold on,
perception.
Correct.
hold on, but it can be less true. The speed
No.
yes, it can.
Yes, it can.
Because yes, it can.
I'll give you an example.
I think with someone's
Let-
mindset,
let-
like honestly, like I think with someone's mindset,
Chase,
when you believe
go get the
something is,
timer.
like 100% true. Like
Hold on,
I
talk in
feel
there.
the same way.
Time out.
I feel the same
Michelle's
way.
talking.
I feel the same way. Like whenever you believe something and you have your like ideas of what is true and what's not true, you 100% are so confident that what you're saying is 100% true, and everyone else's opinions are nothing.
Yeah, but
They
that's
don't
not
matter.
correct.
That's what I'm going
Yeah,
against. That's what I'm
what-
saying is not okay.
And like what you're trying to do, like what I do also, I'm like as guilty also. I try to convince everyone to see my way. Like what? Like no.
I don't.
But they're
I
never
don't.
going to see my
hold
way.
on, hold on,
That's why I-
Michelle. I don't try to convince people to see my way. I try to convince people to look for fucking evidence. That's what I do. It is not. Hold on. No, before you go on, okay? Before you go on, the fact of the matter is, light travels at 300,000 kilometers per second, and it doesn't matter if I perceive it or have any fucking feelings about it. It still travels at 300 kilometers per
Correct,
second.
right? That's literally some things you can't prove
Some
to be
facts
true.
are just what we're
Some,
told.
like literally, some
Like,
facts are what you're
literally
told.
what we're told.
How the fuck can you measure
Yeah,
the
did you
fucking
measure
speed of
it?
light?
Did you
How the
measure it?
fuck do you
And did you
know
come
that's
up
the
with a
speed of light?
measurement?
Ready?
Whoa,
Because
ready?
the science,
Right, it's
because
very
the scientists,
easy.
right?
No, because you take a fuck. Hold on.
hold
You
on,
take
hold
two.
on.
Hold on. You
Right.
take two towers on top of mountains, and you just beam a light bulb with a mirror, and you can spread.
Okay, and then how did light come to be?
How did light come?
Yeah,
Why are you-
From the Big
where
Bang.
did the existence? The Big Bang Theory.
No, it's not a theory. It's not a theory.
Okay, give me the timer.
Gia, we can literally see the cosmic microwave background radiation. It's not a theory. We know what the Big Bang happened.
Some
All right,
things
here's
can't be
I'm
measured.
telling you
Some
right now.
things are
There's
not
all right.
scientific.
There's a realm of what we know, what we think we know, what we might know, and what there's a whole completely realm that we have no fucking idea what the fuck explanation
And
is
this is,
for.
but astronomy is not one of those realms. Astronomy is a realm where we do know.
Bro,
It is.
I'm telling you right now, if you look at this like this, right? So, and this, I'm not bringing it to astrology, but maybe I am. So let's bring it to this. The universe in existence, right?
We're supposed to wait a week for this.
We are literally in a fucking galaxy, right?
Uh-huh.
Right? Amongst billions and millions of galaxies.
Yes.
We have no concept. How the fuck can we measure that?
Time out.
How the fuck can we measure that?
Gia, hold on.
There's so much we don't know.
Gia, stop.
Yeah.
So, Gia, I don't know. First off, Gia,
Passionate.
First off, I don't
Passion.
know. So
Framing.
So clearly, no one's had this discussion with you before. Okay, so first off,
Oh my God!
Okay,
Gaslighting the fuck out of me.
because-
What a man!
no,
What a man!
because you're incorrect.
I'm wrong.
You are.
I'm wrong. Okay, go.
So what's happened is we can look at the uniformity in arc back in 1689 when Isaac Newton discovered how gravity works.
thought
We can
talking
look.
about canceling.
1 second. When we talk.
Somebody's about to get canceled.
Yeah.
United States of America.
When we talked about
the
that.
narcissist over here to the left. Go ahead.
Gia, again, because I invoke Isaac Newton and actual facts, you're calling me a fucking narcissist?
I'm not. No, I'm saying. Listen, quantum physics says nothing exists until we observe it. Right?
No, that is not what quantum
That
physics
is a
says.
fundamental.
That is not what quantum physics says.
Quantum physics is a fundamental
Gia,
concept
what
of
are you
quantum
talking
physics.
about?
Nothing exists until we observe it.
Gia, that's not correct. Everything exists in a superposition until there is an observer. You don't know what
Correct,
you're
and
talking
that's
about. Gia, you don't know what you're fucking talking
Listen,
about.
Michael,
you don't understand how galaxies
what
work.
you don't
understand how gravity
How the
works.
fuck do you know how galaxies work?
Ready? So
Did
listen.
you invent galaxies?
Hold on, Gia, do you want to hear?
Mic drop.
Gia,
Bro, my
Gia,
drop, literally.
Gia, do you want to hear how galaxies work?
How the fuck can you tell me how galaxies work?
I can through parallax spectroscopy and fucking.
We have no
We're not gonna
fucking
make it.
idea.
We absolutely do.
We have no
She's trying to
fucking
make a point
idea.
that you cannot
First 30
measure.
minutes.
You can't measure everything.
You can, but you can measure galaxies. This is
Something.
ridiculous. You
Okay, but
absolutely can. There's
How?
PhDs in cosmology.
Thank you,
Time out.
Rollo.
Time out.
Rollo's
Time
getting it
out.
out.
Time
Rollo.
Gia,
Let's
you
all
are,
listen to Rollo.
you are literally contributing to the fucking ignorance that is causing the problem in the first place.
Michael,
we do
this is
understand.
the difference.
Stop and let me talk.
Okay.
You're literally contributing to the ignorance that is causing the problem in the first place. People get PhDs in cosmology specifically because they study this. You are disregarding all of those people.
I'm not.
Yes,
I'm
you
not.
are.
No.
Stop saying that you don't know what a fucking galaxy is. You do.
Michael,
you can know what a galaxy is.
Michael,
Fucking
what I'm
ridiculous.
telling you right now, this is the difference between me and you. Like I just said, I'm not saying they're wrong and I'm right. I'm saying that any possibility
No,
could
it's
be
not.
true.
Any possibility cannot
There's
be true.
absolutely
Time?
no way we
Time,
can
Rollo?
measure something that we have no conceptual idea.
But we
There's-
do have a conceptual idea of galaxies.
of that
and
we
gravity.
know of today.
No.
In 100 years, what we know today might be completely proven wrong. And that is the fucking truth.
No, it's not.
It is.
And the more
Thank you.
we drink,
What?
the more
What
we
the
know.
fuck we know today?
You have all these women at your table. Let them fucking talk, bro. Shut the fuck up. Okay, that part.
Thank you, and I'm not contributing. This is the problem. What I'm saying, I'm not. What you live in the realm of is and isn't. I live in
That
the
is
realm
the
of
world.
could be and couldn't be.
No, I live in that world
That
too.
means
That's how
that your
hypothesis
theory
work.
could
That's how
possibly
theories
be
work.
true, and other theories could possibly be true.
Yeah, but you don't
There's
provide
no right
evidence.
or wrong.
You don't provide evidence for your theories, and I do. That's the difference. I live in the real world. I run a real business. I have real people working for me. I flew a real aircraft over a real fucking country in a real war.
No, and those are all very valid things, Michael. I'm telling you right now. But here's the thing: how the fuck can we measure something that we can't even get to?
We can't through light. Light travels at a constant speed. We can actually measure wavelengths.
We
can
have a
measure-
concept,
Okay, I have
a
a question.
theory.
You
What? Go
believe
ahead.
in
All right,
science.
halt.
That's your point.
I
Go.
absolutely believe in science.
All right.
This is
Do
madness. bro.
do you yield your time to the gentleman over here?
Correct, go.
All right, go.
So if science has proven it, why can't, hold on.
Who proves science?
If science proves it, you believe in science. So if he's saying, if he's stating a fact, yeah, there's always probability down the road, but he's stating what science has proven right now.
No, but like that's okay. This is a key fundamental that I think the males in the room, but the females understand, right? And maybe that's the difference between male and female. I'm not sure, right?
Do you believe in astrology?
Absolutely.
There's
Do
a
I,
new
Do
study
you
out.
believe in tarot cards?
do I believe here? Do I believe astrology is real or it might not be real? Absolutely.
Okay,
I believe
hold.
in both.
Do you believe in tarot cards?
Tarot cards.
Tarot cards.
Yeah.
So you're good with it. Do you believe in chakras and energies?
Do I believe both exist? Can they or can they not exist? Absolutely. It is what your perception.
Would
it is-
would you say they create a predictable framework for around which you should live your life?
No, absolutely not. I don't believe that. I don't believe astrology should be predictive, and I don't believe that the tarot could be predictive as
Okay,
well.
So they have a new science study that came out. They said that there's a strong correlation between astrology and narcissism. And people that believe in astrology are either have a high probability of being narcissist and low IQ. Science has studied people. So my point is, there's a fact.
Science.
There's a fact.
But no, you live in the
here's-
world of facts. But what is fact today? Okay, let's take for example, right? Let's bring back to. All right,
I'm
there are
speaking on
certain
this
things.
because of what you
There
said
are
to him.
certain
You disagree with him.
there's certain things that exist, or whatever, and there are two things that have existed in basically the evolution of mankind, right? What are the common
emotion
themes?
and reason.
What are the common
Those
themes?
are the two
the
things.
the first one is the pursuit of knowledge, right?
No, it has not been common. When Australopithecus became hominids, there was no fucking pursuit of knowledge. That has not been the common thing. Not since the agricultural revolution and the Sumerians did we have a pursuit of knowledge. Gia, you are talking about things you don't know about.
Michael, okay, take caveman out of this. Take caveman out of this.
I'm not talking about caveman,
The
Kylie.
majority of human evolution, right? The majority of human evolution, we have had a pursuit for knowledge.
No, the majority of human evolution. Human evolution is 200,000 years old.
300,000.
Santa Maria! It depends on who you ask.
Exactly.
The point is the pursuit of knowledge is less than 11,000 years old. That is 11,000 is a lot smaller than 200,000.
All right. So most recently, so the pursuit of knowledge. What is the second most common theme?
Common theme? What are you talking about?
All right, time out. All right, let's just say since we were able to build structures.
Clock, Rolo, clock.
Where we at, Rolo? What is another theme? What is one of the most common themes in different eras, right? Different time periods. Can you guess it?
Can I guess it? What are you talking?
I'm asking you a question.
Gia, you're trying to do some sort of trick question. You don't know what you're talking about. You
Michael,
don't know what you're talking about.
It's not a trick question.
Time.
It's not a trick question.
Hold on. We need to get the super chats. Super chats.
Seriously, and then I want to talk to Brandy, Bree, and Annalise. That's what I want to do after this.
I mean, go ahead. But what I'm trying to say is the belief of a higher being. Science cannot prove that there is or not a God. There's no way.
Right, because you choose to believe it based on faith, not on evidence. That's literally what it says in the Bible.
Correct, but why in the world is this a common theme that has consisted in so many different cultures, in so many different time periods, Because
those cultures existed before the scientific revolution. That's the reason why.
But science exists today, and people still believe.
Correct, but they believe based on faith. They don't believe based on evidence. That's the reason why they believe.
Daverick, land the plane. Land the plane! Land the fucking plane!
So you believe in Darwin?
The evolution, right?
So Darwin only proved one thing: that finches can mate with other finches, right? So it doesn't. It becomes a question of not. So Darwin's like, okay, if there's, it's a theory. It's not proven. It's Darwin's evolutionary theory, right? So he said, okay, outside of the finches, what's the word I'm looking for?
Natural selection.
Not natural selection.
Evolutionary pressure? What are you looking for?
No.
Survival of the fittest?
When you date outside of not a race, but God, I'm losing
You're
it.
talking about the species. Speciation.
It's more of what is a species and what
Origin
is not.
of
Because he said, I proved
There you
that
go.
finches can date outside of their species with other finches, right? Date, mate, whatever. And it's like, okay, well, why are they different species? Why aren't they different races? So it's like you're not. There's only one race of humans, right? There's only one.
Because we kill the other 20.
We are vicious, naked murder apes.
Yes.
Okay,
I learned that
there's
from
one
this man
species.
right here.
Humans are a species, correct?
Homo sapiens are species, yes. Humans encompass all hominids,
Okay,
yes.
so are finches a species?
Fishes?
Finches.
Bird.
Birds on the
So all
Galapagos.
he did is he proved that finches dated with another species of finches. So the question is, what is a species?
But a finch is a kind of bird, isn't it?
Right.
So, it's like
So all he did was prove that finches dated with another species of finches. That was his basis of evolution.
Well, no, he had much more than that. But he was
That
on
was
the
a
cook.
theory.
He was
That
on
was
the
a
cook.
theory.
On the
Did
cook.
they-
on the
did they
cook
mate
ex-
on the first date?
On the cook expeditions. That
Did
was
they
the
mate
one.
on the first date?
I don't know if they did on the first date.
All right, Mike. All right, I had no idea where you
All
were
right,
at that
Holtz.
point.
We have to
Super
have-
chats.
I've got a question for the group.
We gotta do super chats.
All right, we gotta
Literally
do-
started
and here's
talking
one.
about canceling people, and then ended up with God.
All right, here we go.
Right, but that's the thing.
Ladies, who has the OnlyFans
Did you
besides
run out of
Brandy?
Jameson?
Can you take a second from what just happened to who has OnlyFans?
Who's got an
I
OnlyFans?
never use mine. and
That's
mine
it's a
just-
super chat. that's why.
Microphone.
Oh, so
I
no,
never use mine. I I feel so bad for the people that do just subscribe to me because
You don't do anything on there.
I literally post once a year, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's all
hey,
right.
I'll post hey, subscribe to my OnlyFans, and they subscribe. I'm like,
OnlyFans.
sucker,
I don't have
and
one.
I never post ever again, and
I
I feel
should get one.
bad.
Just sign with an agency that would be able to manage mine.
No. Bad idea.
Bad idea.
Okay, so
Cancel.
right now
I'm
it's
still open to
Annalise,
30
Bree,
days.
and Brandy have an OnlyFans. Are they the only ones?
No, I don't count.
You don't use
Awesome.
yours.
Show her too.
Yeah, Annalise has one.
Hell no,
Okay.
I don't got no OnlyFans.
All right, so
I don't have one.
So
Hey guys,
ladies,
everybody listen to Roll.
all right, here's a question. This is a super chat. How old is too old for you to do OnlyFans?
No, there's not too old.
There's no age.
Yeah, I don't
limit.
think there's an age.
No, should there be an age? Like,
No.
should you
No,
age out of
absolutely
OnlyFans?
No, you
Absolutely
should
not.
reach a certain. I think you should be 25 to do it.
How young should you be
25.
to do OnlyFans?
I mean, if you can't
I mean,
walk- Well, it
18
depends
really.
what you're doing on
If you can't walk,
If you can't walk, you should
If
call
you
it.
can't
like
walk.
if you're in
Wait,
a
what?
wheelchair, call it.
Oh, she's talking about old people. She's
Oh.
talking about old age.
Oh, too old, not too
Sorry,
young.
no, I did
She's
not
not
mean.
talking about young,
Oh
no.
my god, I did not mean if you couldn't walk in general. Like if
Yeah.
you were too old and you like couldn't walk anymore and you couldn't do anything anymore
Yeah.
because you were too old, maybe you should call it.
No, but people like that fetish though.
Or they have a lot of information, a
Some
lot of
really
knowledge.
Just like to watch.
Domo actually taught me that
it's the
no girl
watch.
ever ages out of porn.
Hey, let me shout out real quick to Johnny Taylor. Glad to have Access Vegas back. Shout out to Michael and Rollo. Thank you, Johnny, for the super chat.
Soralita Bass, can she please stop screaming? You are going wrong. Let it go, please. We just did. Thank you. Thank you,
Scream more.
Soralita.
Thank you for that. More.
You have to roll your R's every time you talk to
what,
Soralita.
does that come from a male? Surprising.
No, it does,
gosh.
no. Actually, it
Maybe it
comes
was a
from a
chick.
female.
I think it was a
I'm a
chick.
female.
That's Soralita Blast. You do not you don't insult
I don't
my girl.
interrupt my girl.
You don't interrupt my girl. And get Chase.
guys have it.
Chase,
I'm not gonna
Chase
do this
has the other
anymore.
ones.
I'm not.
Okay. Air Force is not alpha. He is just arrogant. He needs to talk and needs to be right all the time. Out of control. Only reason
mean,
I give
both
money
sides
is
of
because
comments on
I
that.
like and respect Rollo. What has happened to this page? Clearly, you are angry, my friend. Clearly, you're having an emotional
heated.
Oh,
response.
there's two chats I just realized. I'm like, what are you looking at?
Super chats. Yes. Chase, can you read the other
Are you
ones?
on Michael's or?
Can you-
Access.
I know there's there's some that passed me up. Sorry.
All good. I'll find it. All right. When Chase gets back, we can go over that.
Okay.
Did you have another topic?
Oh, I do actually.
Hey guys, so I can hear everybody mumbling. Can we just be quiet real quick? Because you guys without headphones, we can hear everybody saying. Go ahead, Rollo.
Okay, so I got into a very heated debate this week. Once again, I do these bait topics every now and then on Twitter because I know I'm going to come in here and do this show, and so I want to have something spicy to talk about. So. One of the hot takes that I put out there, and if you follow me, you already know what one of my signature hashtags is they always get naked. And what I mean by that is women's only real agency in life is their sexuality.
They always get what? Sorry.
They always get naked.
Naked.
Yes, and the reason of how do I come to that conclusion, right?
Explain.
Well, here's how it is. Whenever women want to have any kind of attention, whenever they're at a protest, whenever they are aging and they want to do a cover of Vanity Fair, they take their clothes off. Whenever they are at a protest, they take their clothes off. Whenever they are wanting to get attention of any kind, want to make their ex-boyfriend jealous, they take their clothes off. It is the default setting for women to get naked. That's why they always get naked. And so the hashtag is that because there are so many incidences of that. Case in point, Lizzo just showed up buck naked in what magazine? Somebody tell me what magazine it is. Somebody in the chat will tell me
Men
what it
literally
is.
do the same thing though. What are we talking about?
How? Men do the same thing?
Yeah. You
Fucking
Men take their clothes off
Yeah.
to be
Fucking Tommy Lee just posted his actual dick on
Yes.
Instagram.
on Instagram.
Right, but do you think the majority of men do that? That's how they resort to it.
Is his dick on the cover of Vanity Fair?
Yeah,
He
guys
would have
will get
loved
naked
it
for
on
GQ
there.
And
Wait, time out. You
Vanity
referred to
Fair.
Lizzo, right? Like, do you understand why Lizzo did get naked, right? Not.
Why do you think she got naked?
Why do you think Why do you think?
naked.
Because I'm curious what you think.
Yeah,
Because women default to getting naked whenever
That's
they want
what
to
you
get
really believe.
attention.
No,
Like body image,
she
like,
really
like body
believes.
shape.
Was
No.
Britney Spears naked when she shaved her
No,
head?
no, 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 no. The Lizzo,
Another great example.
Lizzo got
Britney Spears.
naked because she has this. She wants it to basically body acceptance, right? Of different body shapes, right? The acceptance of different body shapes. That is why she got naked. And maybe she wants to bring attention to a more deeper issue, which is fine, right? If she wants to get
Her
naked
deeper
to do
issue
so,
in this, as far as this is concerned, whenever you see these girls that go and do this, whether it's her or it's what's a Tess Holiday, or it's especially when it's body fat acceptance. That's one area. Okay, there's like you could say Jennifer Aniston, for example. She's going to go get naked in Vanity Fair, or Paulina Porizakova, for example.
Who cares?
58
We're
months.
naked.
Yeah, okay, I understand. But guys don't get naked to get attention from other people, to
who do
raise
you think
awareness to like.
made that person?
But women get rewarded for being naked.
Actually, I feel
Thank you.
We
No.
get rewarded
No,
for
Kyle,
being
Kyle.
naked.
I feel
Men
like
don't
a
get
lot of guys-
rewarded.
I feel like a lot of guys like how easy it is for girls to like do OnlyFans and stuff like that. Seeing how
Yeah.
like, oh, girls like get,
That's a reward. You
everyone
get
gets
paid to be naked.
To just be naked and like you could be like
Sorry,
any girl.
you're
It's the dumb species that give us give us that
Hey guys,
fucking
real quick. From this point,
entitlement.
hey guys, listen up. From now on, just one person talk at a time. Can we please do that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right.
So now guys will be like, oh, I could do it too. If that girl can do it, I look better than her. I can do it too. So they'll like sell like. Maybe they're not going to sell their feet pics, but maybe they'll sell like the half naked picture. No one's probably going to buy them, but like they still do it.
Men are visual, women aren't. So women, we're fucking smart, and we know that like we can use our bodies, whatever. Because
If you
guys
get
are gonna be
naked,
like,
I'm not listening.
You
to
can talk shit about it all day, but you're still gonna fucking subscribe.
Yeah,
and be
pussy
like, I wanna see
summer-
what she's
Guys,
got
please,
going
one
on.
at a time, please. Go ahead.
So, because women aren't visual, we're like, I'm not gonna subscribe to some dude's OnlyFans. Like, I really don't care. I need an emotional
I
connection.
think
with
you're
him.
probably a lot more visual than you would like to admit.
No, we're literally not.
I mean, I'm just saying women probably took advantage
We're
of
more
the
emotional.
lesser species of men,
I can't look at a guy's
and
dick and
realizing that they can capitalize on
You,
it.
Dalbert, this is all you, bro. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore.
I mean, honestly, I don't think a vagina looks cute, and I don't think a penis looks cute. But like, for some reason, guys like think vaginas are the hottest things, and they can like, oh my god. But like,
called
when a
reproduction.
girl sees a dick pic, like they're not gonna be like, they're gonna be like, ugh, God, it looks
All right,
like the other one.
and now,
Okay.
who's next?
Who's women
next?
taking advantage of capitalism.
I mean, I don't come.
I don't think any of us disagree with that.
I like Sean in the chat.
like, what did Sean say?
He's just saying like very articulate things.
Okay.
His comments are
You,
not.
go ahead and read one. You can read them. Which one?
Let's hear it.
Which
Okay.
one jumps out at you?
Let's see.
See, we
First
let
of
the
all, last
girls
thing he
read
said
the
was
chat.
one at a time, but he said.
We got a good $20 Super Bowl.
Where are you
here, too.
seeing this?
There you go. There you go. There you go. All
You
right.
just deleted it.
I didn't delete
nobody
it.
deleted
No,
it.
you have to scroll.
You have to scroll.
Really?
No, I was looking at it and then it literally vanished.
Yeah, because people keep commenting.
I mean, all I'm saying is that you say that as if it's a negative thing, right?
I'm not saying it's a negative. I didn't say it's negative or positive.
Well,
I
no,
just
he
said
actually
that.
never got to say anything about it because everybody started cutting him off.
Quite
So,
honestly,
Rolo, continue what you were talking about.
Well, depending on how
Be
hot
great.
the girl is, I think it's a very positive thing. It just depends on what
On your
they-
perspective.
But the thing is, what I'm saying is that it is women's nature to want to get naked whenever it is time for them to get attention, whether that's for a protest, whether that's for
Money.
wanting to be confident in a magazine, for money, for OnlyFans, for Instagram. Always defaults to the first best agency, which is your sexuality. I got run up the flagpole for pointing out the obvious, and you're still. I mean, you are actually agreeing with me more than the people in the replies of Twitter. So when it's thrown at me, I get this. Oh, who hurt you? Why are you asking this? I would hate to be married to you. What does your mom think? It's always this emotional reframe of. I'm pointing out the obvious to you.
I
I'm
think-
pointing out the facts to
also-
you, and you're replying to me and trying to reframe it in an emotional argument.
I think the also Rolo, this is not like an even. This is not a normal distribution. Like
No.
Every
That's
girl
why
in
I
here,
wanted to bring
every
it
girl
up
in here
here.
has modeled at
Yes.
some point,
Yeah.
and so I think for them, I think you guys understand that truth a little bit better than Karen from Wichita. That's the difference that what we're trying to say. You guys understand that, and don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's good or bad. What I'm saying is what you said. It is a function of supply and demand. If people stop, if men have a problem with OnlyFans, then they should convince their brethren to stop fucking simping on OnlyFans.
Exactly.
But they
There's
don't.
An audience. Like,
That's-
why are we getting naked? Because you guys are watching us. Like, it's not our
Yes,
fault.
the women are capitalizing on it, and then that's the fact of the matter is that, and I don't think that it's necessarily always true that women have to go to that to get naked, right? I think that
But
statement is that
it's the first default. It's the first thing.
Who
Why do
shaped that? Like, I think that maybe.
So may-
shaped that, like, we know that they
okay. So
listen.
who shaped that? It can be. Yeah, of course, it's going to be evolutionary biological pressures, right? Guys want to see tits.
Yeah,
guys
Charles
We know that
Darwin
it works.
shaped that. Hey, Brandy, what do you think about this? What do you think about this idea?
Brandy, do you like to get naked?
Do I like to get naked? Yeah, sometimes. Not
Do you
for
get
like
paid?
attention, but like around my house, I love to walk around naked. I like
too.
to go out
Who
in my
doesn't?
backyard
Naked.
and like tan naked because I don't like tan lines. Like, yeah.
I mean, one thing I can say is honestly, at the
like
end of
tan
the
lines.
day, doing OnlyFans is so much better because
Brazil.
OnlyFans, like, if you can do it and like post naked photos and like even have sex tapes with your boyfriend, and like make a shit ton of money, more money than you can make on porn. Like that's way better doing porn because you're fucking like on on camera with a stranger.
And now we get to the point
for, like,
I was
half
trying
the
to
money.
get to.
For, like, one-
that is porn.
one fifth of the money.
No one's disagreeing with you. So studio porn is what she means. No one's disagreeing with you. No, here's the thing. This is I don't want to put words in your mouth, but this is probably where Rollo and Davrick are going to step in. And the idea is, what then happens to society? Because the problem that'll happen, and I know you guys will say, well, these men are insecure or whatever. What happens to society when we have a situation where women get older and it becomes more difficult for them to find a partner that they find acceptable because they were doing guy-girl porn on OF? Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a trade-off.
I don't think it's a big deal.
You don't think it's a big deal? So you personally, are you interested in getting married?
Yeah.
That was my next
question.
question.
I mean, I have a past.
Yeah.
I fucked up in my past, like at some point, like a decade, a year ago.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, I mean, every time if you're honest with somebody and you tell them up front, like nobody's gonna have any issue with it.
Yeah.
I feel like at the end of the day, like you're up front, you're honest. Like everyone has a past, everyone has sex. Like
The
at
person
the end of the day,
you
it's
wanna
not
be
gonna
with
matter.
Well,
anymore.
there's
Times have changed.
It
I feel
does.
like.
It does.
Go ahead. I got a question, but go ahead.
The top 1% of guys have options, right? The majority of men don't. So yeah, every one of you girls right now can pick your phone up, get laid. Every one of you can get married. Every one of you can get a date. It's what you want. What you're looking for. 90% of the women are going for the same guy, the top 1% guy, and then they have all these options, and they're going to look and go, well, wait a minute, she had OnlyFans. Maybe I'm not interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I want a girl that comes from the country or a small city.
Well, then that's not the right guy for you.
That's right, but he'll go to the person that is. So he has options. So if every one of you in here says, I want a guy that makes 6 figures a year, 6-pack abs, 6 feet tall, you're 0.5% of men in America are that guy. And they have options. And they're not going to marry a woman necessarily that had an OnlyFans account.
Yeah, but
so you're going to have to settle for the options that you have.
But it's better to find out sooner than later because at the end of the day, you have to marry someone that your like values align with and like your morals align with, like everything aligns with. So if you like, if
and
you're
your bank
like
accounts
comfortable with
align
like doing something like that and you think it's not that big of a deal, but they think it's like the end of the world and you're going to hell, the Bible
I'm not
says.
saying the end of the world.
They say the Bible says blah blah blah. Then your morals and your like values are not aligned, so it's not going to work out in the long run.
I want to include you two because you two have been in functioning relationships while filming content on OF, and I didn't know if you were
only filmed with boyfriends. Yeah.
Right. No. I'm saying. So the three of you have. So my question is, what is your belief on this whole thing? Does it make any difference? Do you think there's any consequences for it whatsoever?
Yeah.
What is it, Brandy? Go ahead.
Brandy. Yeah.
Well, you don't like you wouldn't know. Like there's so many guys that like don't even approach me because of it, and I don't realize that I'm missing out on those guys because of what I do.
Have you ever? We talked about this when I interviewed you. Have you ever made a consideration about whether or not you can film with a guy, about whether or not you'll date him?
Yes.
Because if you're in a committed relationship with someone, you wouldn't film with someone outside.
I only film with boyfriends.
Right. You do know girls that do also have boyfriends and then film with guys outside of the relationship too.
Yeah.
And
I mean, everybody has their own boundaries, but I'm saying like, yeah, there's obviously a huge majority of guys that don't approach me or don't come at me because they see I do OnlyFans and they just keep moving along and I don't even know because they never approached me and I didn't know that they didn't approach me because of that. Like it's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, but these are the same guys that like actually like subscribe to girls' OnlyFans.
We'll get to that in a second. Annalise, go ahead.
Yeah, I got some really good ones.
I don't even remember what the fuck.
Say, Annalise, so it has to do with being in a functioning relationship and being on OnlyFans. Has this had any effect on your relationship?
No, the guys that I was with, they were private. No one knew who they were except for like I filmed with like a couple like celebrities, but like I don't reveal their identity. They just sign a fucking waiver.
Let me ask you something. After the fact, like let's say you meet the dream guy. I don't know if you're dating someone right now. You don't have to say anything. But let's just say you meet the guy of your dreams later, and then do you think he could have a problem with the fact that you've had multiple partners on your OnlyFans and that you filmed it?
Sure, he can, but then he's not my guy. Like,
Okay.
What do you mean?
I agree.
Like it'll work
Wrong
out.
question.
Yeah.
Bree.
My boyfriend is so supportive on it. So
as we all know.
I don't know. He's like he's my biggest supporter.
I have a question. Does any of you want to be married? Are any of you married?
I was about. That's my.
I don't want to get married.
I don't care.
I don't believe in marriage.
And again, I'm not attacking you as an individual. I'm just telling you what guys look at.
I've been
at certain
proposed
levels.
to 3 times. And
What
said
guys look at, they have this standard, right, of women.
in this city.
Hold
Go
on.
ahead.
Trash.
Don't get
Go ahead.
emotional on me.
I'm not.
Just
Go
relax.
ahead.
It's just
Here's what happens. Every one of you has a standard. You have a standard.
Yeah.
Everybody here says, this is what I want. Is that man available for you based on what you do and your actions?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
100%?
100%.
Okay, so do you want to be married?
I do want to get married. Ideally, I would like to have kids. So I want to experience both aspects of the world.
Okay,
But I feel like what I did in my past, it doesn't matter. Everyone has a past. Like nobody has ever not been with me or been in a relationship with me because of my past.
Are those the guys you wanted to marry?
And every single relationship has been years. So.
But are those the guys you wanted to marry?
I mean, if I saw potential in them, it's always on my part. Like the spark has faded out on my part.
So you didn't want to marry him?
So, but yeah, it's always on my part. But I do want to have kids. If it came down to a sperm donor, I would for sure have a sperm donor.
Okay, but that's my point. The guys you were with, you didn't even want to marry.
But it's just on me. I have something wrong with me, I feel like.
Yeah, same. I like date guys that are
I have
poor.
the 6 month ick. I don't know. I
don't know. One at a time. Annalise, go ahead. One at a time. Annalise, go ahead.
Annalise, go.
Annalise, go.
Everyone that I date, like I pay for their whole life. I take care of them.
Annalise, move to your right, please.
I
Move
take
further
care
to your
of
right.
them. I pay for everything. I am like leagues above them, but they're hot. They're like they're
See, that
fun.
only works for so long.
I thought it didn't matter.
Hold on, Kylie, you have opinions about OnlyFans. Hold on.
You didn't marry him.
Don't do it.
Yeah,
Not
because
worth it.
I don't want to be married yet, and I don't want to have kids for like a couple
But do you
years.
not realize they want to marry you because you're their security?
You made that mistake
You
once.
just-
Don't do it.
All right,
again.
so this is a good place. This is a good place to put this question. This is a good place to
to.
put this question. This is actually on my list. It's not a super chat. Do you think, ladies at the table, do you think that you are valued for more than your sexuality by the guys you've been with? Do you think you are?
No, hold on, time out. We're not
Okay.
asking if you have value other than your sexuality. Of course you do.
Not
We're
personal
asking.
value.
We're asking.
Yeah.
Except the men who see you. Do you feel that men in general value you for more than your sexuality?
Yeah.
Kylie, go ahead.
The
Hold
ones
on,
that-
Kylie. Hold on. Time out.
No.
Kylie, go ahead and talk.
No.
What do you think?
I don't think that men women do this thing and we'll look at a man and we'll be like, oh, they can do this and this. They can do
They're
A, B,
funny.
C, D, E for me, right? Men don't do that. Men are like, she's hot. I'm going to get with her tonight. Great. Or, like they'll be like, okay, well, she's hot. We're going to get with them tonight. Great. Or she's hot. Okay, well, now I actually kind of like hanging out with her. Cool. She can stick around, but it's not going to be like, oh, she can do A, B, C, D for me. Like, it's not the same thing. Men and women have different ideas when it comes to sexual, being sexual with somebody. It's
What they
way
search
different
for in a partner. What they
right,
look
for
for in
a
a partner.
partner, it's
Yeah.
way different. So no, I don't think that they view us and they're like, all right, let's pick that one today. This one, they don't do that.
So, Annalise, I guess what the question is, do you believe that the majority of men that you encounter, or any of the rest of you, see you for something other than a sexual object?
And especially those of you who have like OnlyFans as well.
Okay,
which
well,
I think
for
is everybody.
OnlyFans, that's my
it.
job. That's different. But are you talking about just in general, day to day?
Like most men,
my guy
to be fair, you help me with my charity event, so I see you. I appreciate that you come and help us raise money for animal rescue and stuff like that.
So,
but
yeah.
in general, men in general that you encounter on a regular basis, do you feel that's the
If
way?
I'm having a face-to-face interaction with them, yes.
Allie, what do you think? Allie and then Allie.
Oh, me first?
Yeah,
we did that on purpose.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, I think that I'm valued more than just my sexuality. Most of the time I approach the table, no offense, and I don't know, this is a bad word to say. I look like a dyke most of the time when I'm walking around places.
Right.
Love that.
Yeah, so people usually just look at me like, oh, okay, we're going to talk to her. I think that it takes a man that has been around multiple, a high status man to be able to see you in this way. If you're just around a man that that's never been around anybody who's pretty or attractive or has any they're not going to be this way. It's going to be very hard for them to not see you as an object at this point, right?
I agree.
You know, I believe that. I'm not going to lie.
Allie Adams, what do you think?
I think that when men have more to offer, they're gonna look at you a little more and be like, "What does she
different.
offer me besides that?" Because I can get any hot bitch. What else does she have for me? So, when you're chill and you're cool and you can hang with the guys and you're not a stage 5 clinger and you're not somebody who's just annoyed, you're literally damn, she's so fucking cool. She cooks me dinner, she knows what I want on my birthday. Anything that's not even sexual. We watch the same shows together. She doesn't make me watch The Bachelor every fucking night.
Daverick, you had something?
So the question is what do the men want from you? Do you know?
What do you mean? What does anybody want from anybody?
Loyalty.
What is
Honesty. I would say that.
Honesty. We want peace and respect.
I think they don't even know usually.
We don't.
Yeah.
We want peace and respect.
But but sometimes it's very rare for a man to give peace and respect.
I think peace is number one. Peace
we
is
don't want
number one.
we don't want chaos. We don't want drama.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sloppy toppy.
And I will say that men, I will say that most men, like women, are not naturally crazy. I think that men bring out the crazy in women because they have this double standard, right? That they believe that they can do whatever the fuck they want and act however the fuck they want.
I can counter that right now.
I mean, maybe not you, Rolo, but most men.
No, but
I love how when it's women,
wait.
it's
Hold.
Hey guys, let Rolo go and then Michelle. Rolo and then Michelle. Go.
I can counter that, and it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with lesbians. Lesbians have the highest incidence of domestic violence, and they have the highest incidence of divorce.
Because I can fucking punch a bitch.
No, they have the highest incidence of domestic.
Because they bring out the crazy in each other.
False, because I can literally, I'm not hitting a man, but I can fucking punch a bitch.
We are crazy. Women are
No,
crazy.
wait, listen. They have the highest incidence of domestic violence because they can't knock each other out, so they just keep going over and over
Women are
again.
more
With men, it's just like
emotional.
fewer incidents because unless you're OJ.
See,
Shout
my
out to
thing
OJ.
is this: when you just asked the question, like, do you think
Yeah.
your sexuality? I think upon initially interaction with someone, your base value, right? It does based off sexuality. Like, can someone see, like, am I attracted to this person? Am I not attracted to this person? Sure. That's just your initial, like, me walking into this room, I'm looking at these women, these men. Will I fuck this woman? Will I fuck this man? Like, that's my initial, just not knowing you,
Can I
not
ask you a
speaking to
question?
you, not hearing a word.
How quick does that happen for you?
Seconds.
Let me ask you something, Gia. Is it in seconds?
But I could be wrong.
Is it in seconds? You know if you wouldn't, and then later on figure out if you would, or do you know that you would immediately?
I'm always on the wouldn't. I would never like that's my stance. My go-to is I wouldn't fuck a single person in the fucking world.
My point is
people then prove me. Oh,
my point is when women say I know in the
prosecution
first minute, I think what women are saying is I know I wouldn't fuck him in the first minute, and then after a while,
wouldn't fuck her in the first minute.
and then what happens after a few minutes is what you find out is that this guy's into fucking Dragon Ball Z just like I am, and he's really fucking funny.
Both ways.
So go ahead.
I find guys attractive, like straight
And
on.
you immediately want it.
And then 5 seconds into them talking, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, but hold on. Here's the thing, Ali, that you didn't sleep with him. So I'm right. You didn't sleep with him.
No, but you know.
No,
Okay,
but what are you asking? You're saying
you know.
like instantly, do I know if I'm attracted or not?
No, sleep with him. So there's a difference. Like for men, being attracted to women and wanting to sleep with her are coincide.
Yeah.
For women, there's often women who find a man attractive and will not have sex with him. There's a differentiation because women are picky. Men are not picky. If women weren't picky, we'd all have AIDS and live in caves.
Hold on, wait. Before you answer, here we go. This is a really good super
I
chat.
have a good comeback.
Okay, hold you. Right, you can come back after this. What makes a man's Instagram attractive or appealing? What's the difference between them and the rest of the other men who find it?
Here we go, Michael.
What makes their Instagram?
Michael.
And Michael cannot
Michael's
answer.
thinking about like the
Let's go around
the sex
let's
on
go
the
around the
first
horn.
date kind of
What
thing.
makes?
Go ahead.
Okay, so for me personally, I always like address this like all the time, like. When people are like, "Oh, I won't have sex with someone on the third date or whatever," blah blah blah. For me personally, like I always have sex with someone on the first date. Like all my boyfriends have had came from sex on the first date because I always think of, can you imagine if people like that have sex when they first get married and won't have sex until they get married, and then they have sex and then it's their wedding day and then they have sex and they're like, oh my god, it's so horrible, there's no spark. Because can you imagine the first time you ever had
There's
sex,
just that little
there's
gap
no
in
spark.
between
The
there
first time
from
you
the
ever had
first
sex, I
day
guarantee
and
it's like
marriage.
awkward, it's like flipper, like there's no chemistry.
It depends on how attracted I am to you.
But now you're stuck
Right?
with that person forever.
So one of the issues is while you may be correct about that,
Yes.
there are studies that show that as women have more sexual partners,
I'd rather do it
as
together.
women have more sexual, and these are studies, it's not my opinion. As women have more sexual partners, like for instance, once you get
Facts.
above 20 sexual partners,
for sure.
women
Mine is one times million.
Women tend to have a harder time staying in a marriage. It's about a 17% chance of staying in a marriage once you exceed 17 or 20 sexual partners. For men, that correlation doesn't happen. Men can have multiple sexual partners. What causes men to cheat tends to be other options. What causes women to cheat tends to be previous sexual partners. So that's one of the issues. Like every time you're trying out the new ice cream, you're taking one lick of the ice cream. The problem is by the time you get to the man who's your husband, there may be some difficulty for you to imprint with him because you've had so many previous partners. Does that make sense?
For me, I might be that 1%. For me, I might be that 1%. I don't know, but for me, it's not about the sexual partners that you had.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me personally, like seeing I think it's about the family experience, just your past and your like how you were raised, kind of thing. Not necessarily how you're raised, but your values. Like my mom has liked girls my whole life. And like for me, that's my normal. Like everything is like I have a different like outlook. I'm like whatever makes you happy, do whatever you want, kind of thing. You know my like how my sexual thing about like the feelings and stuff down there. So for me, sex doesn't mean anything. Like I'll have sex with whatever. It doesn't mean like if I have sex with 200 guys, it's not going to affect if I like a guy and get married to him.
Yeah, but it might affect the guy. It might affect the guy to find out that you had sex with 200 guys.
Mia, what makes a guy attractive on Instagram?
Gia?
Okay.
Mia.
But just to comment on that, it might affect a guy that found out that you had sex with 200 men, but like, what if, that same man had sex with 200 women, and that's okay.
No, it's not that it's okay or not okay.
But like, a guy to have sex with 200 women?
It wouldn't.
I'm just saying the same man that will judge you for having sex with 200 men had sex with fucking 400 women, and they're like, you fucking whore.
Hold on, Gia. It's not that don't even worry about fucking whore. It's just we have a decision between multiple choices, especially if we're a high status man. And if we're going to choose,
and so does a female.
Hold on. And if you had a son and your son was like, hey, I'm going to bring this girl home. I really like her. I just found out that she has 200 sexual partners. You would want your son to marry someone like that.
And I would ask my son, how many sexual partners have you had?
Really? Is that what you'd ask your son? Because I don't think you would.
Because you know what? I feel like women are literally, they're put on this fucking, they're put on a microscope and they're literally constantly like attacked. But men, it's literally the dawn of time. Men can get away with whatever the fuck they want in life.
I mean, I don't think men can get away. I watch
but a woman, and like a woman becomes unmarriageable, right? She's like, I don't want to marry that girl because she's fucked too many dudes. But that dude fucked every fucking person in the world.
No, only a percentage of guys can do that.
It's a very small number of men.
A very small percentage of men can go out and have sex with that many women. So, and all the women are going for that same guy. Most guys aren't out here having sex with all these women.
Gia, just to give you some context.
You guys generalize so much, and that is what she's.
We're talking about the majority, not the exception.
No, we're being very specific.
Whatever they can get.
Totally agree with you.
Girls have sex with
it's so much harder for men.
To answer your question, Rolo. To answer your question, the two things that are attractive, right? So what I find attractive on Instagram is two things. Either you don't have social media.
Yeah.
That is a turn on.
Yeah.
Agreed. I will literally. That's the biggest turn on.
Yep.
Or you only have social media to boost a business, right? To boost your entrepreneurship.
Wouldn't Instagram be social media?
Instagram is social media.
Well, no, I'm saying okay, sorry.
Using IG to boost up your business.
So if you have an Instagram, the only thing that I find that is attractive on it, if you haven't, it's either you don't have an Instagram. You don't have any type of social media whatsoever, nothing, right? Or you only use your social media to boost your business, right? Because that makes you an entrepreneur. That makes marketing like we live in a world that
so easy.
Social media is that's like what is it builds your business, right? It builds your brand. So I can respect a man that has a social media platform to build his business. I can respect that, but I can't respect a man that just posts selfies all day. For me, that's a big. That's if a man is just out here just
lady boner.
Do you think it's the same way for women?
No.
Back way, men. Is it the same way?
No. We want you to post selfies.
And maybe that's a double standard. And maybe that's a double standard that exists. Women have
because men look for contextual or non-contextual images of attractive women, and women don't feel the same way about men.
No.
That's why when somebody sends you a picture of nice boobs, no one's offended by that. Men are not offended by that.
Dick pics, what
women
the
not offended.
fuck?
Dick pics are offensive to non-contextual from your boyfriend. Sure, non-contextual dick pics tend to offend women, and that's something Dr. David Buss talks about in his book. Is that whole thing? Hold on, Gio. To his point previously, on average, what do you think the average North American male? How many sexual partners do you think he has in his life?
The average?
Yes. I want Gia to answer this.
If I had, if they're lying, because people lie on polls. People lie, right? When you go to the doctor, you go to surveys, you lie.
Once we get to millions and millions, and these are anonymous surveys, they're generally not going to lie.
If I had to guess, your average, right? Your Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know what's that right there.
I would say 20 to 25.
6. So the average North American male has
I was gonna
6
say
sexual
7.
partners. Okay, 33% of men under the age of 30 have 0 sexual partners. 26% of men have no sex from the age of 18 to 30. No sex at all. They're not going on to the Census Bureau and lying to them about being a virgin. Okay, I got news for you, Gia. Hold on, Gia. Hold on. Let me tell you something else.
Okay.
The top 5% of men have 135 sexual partners. The bottom 33% of men have 0. The top 5% have 135. Now let's look at women. The average number of sexual partners women has in North America. What do you think?
My guess?
Yeah.
7.
4. Now, here's the thing. For women, the number of women that have 0 sexual partners is very small. It's like less than 8%. The number, once you get to the top 5% of women, it's like 35 sexual partners. Okay? So that's the thing. So you see, for women, it's a line. For men, it's a fucking hockey stick. And the men at the top have all the sex. So when you guys go and when you make these statements about the double standard of men, most men work at Walmart or give you chicken McNuggets. Most men do
you're not going to fuck them.
Right? But that's the problem. They're still men. They're still men, Gia. They
Absolutely.
still deserve.
But you wouldn't. But a man wouldn't fuck a 300-pound. I mean, maybe. Listen, I love big bitches.
You're wrong.
Right?
Men would.
You're right. Correct. But again, that's because here's the thing. I think that this concept that men will literally fuck they'll fuck whatever they can, right? Or whatever's available.
Shout out to the U.S. Army.
Yeah.
Shout out 18 to 80, blind, cripple, or crazy. Shout out to the U.S. Army.
Because I truly do believe that men, I think men and women are kind of wired a little bit differently. I think men...
They're not kind of wired a little bit differently.
They are.
There's scientific that shows they are extremely wired differently.
100% wired differently. So I think men come from a place that a man goes out in a night, right? And just the main goal to get fucking laid. A female goes out in a night, and I would say your average female, maybe I'm wrong,
She just wants to go dancing.
Yeah, right.
She just wants to go dancing.
I mean, maybe some women have a very man perspective, and maybe
I'm literally.
Time out. Annalise, go ahead.
I'm sitting here and learning that I am just a man.
Go ahead, Annalise. Why do you feel that? Because you like to go out on a regular basis just to get laid?
Because I have a high body count.
Okay. Hold on. Time out. Let her finish.
Time out.
One person talk at a time. Go ahead, Annalise.
I do have a high body count.
Okay.
And
which is okay, by the way. Okay.
Yeah. Also, a lot of it was when I was younger, and then I've learned things, and now I'm like, the energy exchange. I don't want to have a lot.
Can you move to your right a little bit more? Move to your right a little bit more.
Almost in my lap. I'm gonna get a lap.
Then all the three of you move to the right, please. Go ahead.
I have a question for Brandy next.
I can't.
Brandy, go ahead.
I have a question for Brandy. Brandy, if I have a picture of a fish, I have fishing pictures on my Instagram, does that make me hotter or notter? If I can kill an animal and fry it on a grill.
Fishing, and I can see what your body looks like.
Yes, I'm glistening like a bronze Adonis in the sunlight on a deep sea fishing boat.
Probably,
Stop it.
Yeah, but you appreciate the photo not because of the fishing, but because of the shirtless.
If I can see that you're attractive, but you also have other qualities that don't include you getting drunk or being surrounded by women all the time, yes.
Yeah. I agreed.
See, okay, maybe I'm the only female in the room, but I don't find someone attracted by the way they looks. That's maybe I'm rare, right?
Brain.
But I could not in the slightest.
You said earlier that you made a judgment right away when you meet them whether you fuck them or not.
Yes. No.
Right.
It wasn't. No, it was. I wouldn't fuck them.
But also,
I wouldn't fuck a man.
I agree. I make a judgment based on physical looks right away. Absolutely.
No, physical has nothing to do with it.
5 minutes in, I'm gonna decide if I would actually be interested in doing it or not.
It's almost like there's a variety of things women are attracted to. It's almost like there's a variety of things that women are attracted to.
Can I say something? Yeah. So honestly, when I'm like Gia, so whenever I go to a bar, there's a million hot guys. I do not think any of them are attractive at all. Even if they talk to me, I don't find them I still don't find them attractive. If a guy comes up to me and says, "I want to buy you a drink at the bar," I would refuse because I'd rather buy myself that $10 drink than have to have them buy me a $10 drink and sit there and have to pretend to have be nice and have conversation with them just because I feel guilty because they bought me a drink.
It's almost like
you buy me water,
Cindy Meston and David Buss when they wrote the book Why Women Have Sex and said that there were 237 reasons why women have sex. It's almost like women have more variety of reasons why they have sex with men than men do. Men have like 4 reasons they want to have sex. Women have like 238 reasons why they want to have sex.
It's almost like
it's called negative kurtosis in statistics. They have more reasons. And the reason why is because for women, the things that show the ability to protect, provide, provision, whatever, those things can be height, they can be shoulder width, they can be humor, they can be facial symmetry, they can be alignments with other people. There's a lot of different ways. For women to show their ability, like their physical attractiveness, there's only like 1 or 2 things.
What are the
Kylie was saying something.
Kylie,
it's almost like men don't understand women and women don't understand women. Like, we're just confusing. Like, nobody understands us.
I think people.
Our brains go 500 miles per hour.
It's so hard to
Yours go
comprehend
20.
what we're trying to do.
But women.
I'm sorry. I believe it was Max. I think quantum mechanics was actually discovered by Erwin Schrödinger, so I think that was a man.
That was actually a serious question for Brandy, by the way.
We do a lot more. What was the question, Rolo?
All right, so the reason I was
one person talk at a time. Rolo.
So most girls will say that they think that guys with fishing pictures on their Instagram are like why no one cares about your big giant fish, right? The reason why I'm saying that is because like is he glistening in the sun? Does he have like pecs and 6-pack ab and a V taper, right? But beyond that, are there things that a guy could be doing in his Instagram pictures that would make him more like, say you've got the same guy, they both look really good. Okay. One guy's fishing and the other guy is, I don't know, kayaking or something like that, or like, is there an activity? Is there a cue, like a behavior? Is he in a suit? Does he have to be a fireman? Does he have to be a cop? Does he have to be a road worker?
I would never date a guy in the industry. That's
hold on, let Brandy start.
I think that depends on the girl and what she's into, though. Like I am attracted to guys with talent. So like if he's doing something that shows he's really talented at something, then yes. But like, I think overall, you just don't want to see some dude who all his pictures are him at the club every weekend and he's with all these girls and all this stuff, and you're just like, pass. But if he's doing other outdoor different like type of activities, I think it makes him more attractive.
What if he's like building a house? Like he can do stuff. Like he can actually build something, or perhaps he's
got skills or talent, or he's
not
like
necessarily a hobby per
way.
se. But I'm just saying something
competence.
that seems like
competence would be attractive. That would make, from an evolutionary standpoint, wouldn't that make sense for your ancestors to say, which man am I going to choose? I'm going to choose the one that is the most competent man.
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah! If a man can literally fucking build shit, the sexiest.
Okay.
Who is saying no to that?
Beautiful. But my point is, for men, we don't look back and say which one of these women is the best with C++ and fucking do it programming and see it.
Who can hang drywall?
Yeah, which one of these women can hang drywall?
What are the terms that you? I'm curious.
I'm saying you're telling me
what's
if
the
you
terms
saw
that you fuck a
girl's
woman?
Instagram and she had some sort of talent outside of like being attractive. Would you not find her more attractive?
So I would find her more interesting, and I would definitely want to have her on my podcast. I don't know that my penis would get harder because she's a good singer.
What would get your penis hard?
Like physical attraction.
Physical attraction.
Physical attraction.
Very large breasts.
We don't care about degrees, money, or anything.
But what determines physical attraction? Because what you find attractive and what he finds attractive.
So while you are correct, while you are correct. So there's been surveys that have done on this.
Yeah.
For women, what they'll find is a large deviation. I've seen some of Brandy's ex-boyfriends, and I know some girls would find them extremely attractive, and some girls who don't like tattoos would not find them attractive. For women, they find things. They find things different attractive. For men, if we were to say, gentlemen, all the guys in here, including the producer, you guys remember Selma Hayek in Dusk Till Dawn? Was she attractive?
I do.
Was she attractive?
Yes.
Raise your hand. Okay.
Yes.
Let me ask you something. Was Margot Robbie in Wolf of Wall Street? Was she attractive? Put your hand up. There's no man who's like, she wasn't attractive. So for us, the
she's subjectively hot.
But my point is, for what we find attractive, it's facial symmetry, signs of youth, and a hip to waist ratio. Those things are generally across other species. Now, you might say, Michael, that might be your opinion. No, there was a study done by Dr. David Buss, University of Texas at Austin, 37 different cultures. These cultures have nothing to do with each other. Some of these cultures were in the Andes. Some of these cultures were in Polynesia, and they had no radio, they had no television, they had no film. And in those cultures, in every single one of them, men were more interested in casual sex than women. Men were always interested in women that had signs of facial youth and facial features. Hold on. Women were more interested in men who were taller than them. Women were more interested in men that had a 0.65 to 1 shoulder to waist ratio, and men were more interested in women that had a 0.72 hip to waist ratio. These were societies that had nothing to do with each other. The only thing that they had in common was 23 fucking chromosomes. They were all Homo sapiens. And in all of these cases, without any cultural intervention whatsoever, all of these societies found men and women to be the same. These cultures were the same. Our proclivities are because of genetics. They are not because of culture. And this is undeniable proof of that. That's the reason why we talk about it in these studies. What women find attractive, if you're in a whaling culture, do you know that shorter men are more attractive? Do you want to know why? Because shorter men are better at throwing spears at fucking whales. If you're in a culture where taller men, like a societal culture, where like a warrior culture, taller men might be more attractive. Women find different things attractive in different places. Some women are like, I would never date a guy with tattoos on his face. Some women love guys who have tattoos on their face. That's the thing. But for us as men, I can point to like, young Angelina Jolie or fucking what somebody else that you can think of, Pamela Anderson. No guy thinks she's ugly. We all kind of like, all of us would be like, yes, she's attractive. So what we as men find attractive from a physical standpoint is actually measurable. In fact, not only is it measurable, they've also done a separate study where they superimpose hundreds of people's faces over each other, and they get the average face, and that average face, this is in psychology classes, that average face is more attractive than any one person in the class, because that's what it is. It's symmetry. That is what men find attractive.
Can I answer this in one statement? So to answer your question in one sentence, she has to be able to survive childbirth, and she has to be able to feed those children once she has those children. The end.
So a woman's less attractive if she can't have children?
No, but those are the signs. They're looking for cues, big boobs.
So here's the thing. A fake butt and a boob job is actually a sign to where our hindbrain can't tell that they're fake, and they look more fertile. Does that make sense?
Okay, so why did my boyfriend leave me when I got pregnant last year?
Because he's probably a piece of shit.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do. But like, you being a piece of shit has nothing to do with being like, you could be a man or a woman and a piece of shit. He may have a cluster B personality.
Hold on. So like, if a guy says you're attractive, there's guys that say, "Oh, she's attractive, I'd fuck her," but then I wouldn't be in a relationship with her. There's two different things we look at.
That's why like those girls are always complaining about like, oh, my boyfriend tells me he doesn't want me posting pictures like this, but then he's on Instagram liking all the girls that post pictures.
But you have
like
guys
that.
liking your pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he wants to protect your. Okay, guys.
He doesn't want other guys
so when I say this, guys, please understand. What I'm talking about is the hind monkey brain is having one conversation, and then the neocortex is having a separate conversation. The neocortex understands things like contraception, but your hind brain doesn't. This is why when women have like if you understood that. If your genetics understood what condoms did, you would look at condoms like they're made of acid. Like, keep them away from me. I want to reproduce.
Well, I do look at condoms.
I do that. I don't like condoms.
Okay, whatever. Any type of birth control. Any type of birth control. Because your genes want to replicate. But your cognitive brain is recognizing what contraceptives do. Your hind brain doesn't know what contraceptives are. So they're just thinking every time we have sex, it's baby making time. That's the reason why these things happen.
It's the difference between
so like I have my tubes removed. Does that matter in a man's
No. So here's the thing. From my standpoint, if a guy finds you attractive because of your physical features, we can't see that your tubes are tied. Also, think about this. Think about the utility of breast implants. For a man, they find them outrageously. Some men find them outrageously attractive. Yet they don't have utility. Why is that? Because the monkey brain is like big boobs, fertile. The cortex is like, oh, those things are fake, but for some reason my penis is still getting hard. Does that make sense? So you have to. This is triune brain theory, which is the concept of the human brain, the monkey brain, and the lizard brain. The lizard brain is like the amygdala. The human brain is the limbic system, and then the neocortex is the mammal or monkey brain is the limbic system, and then the neocortex is the human brain. And from these concepts, these three parts of your brain are all communicating in different places. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's what happened. But they're not all communicating with each other, and that's why a guy.
Let me go ahead first. I'll step in.
So if a man's had children and he wants a relationship with you, it doesn't bother him, right?
Yeah.
But if a guy wants to have children, obviously it's not compatible. You guys aren't a match. But to the point I was speaking to you earlier, like when we go to the gym, guys go to the gym and say, hey, I met this chick. They're like, oh, is she hot? And I see the girls at the gym. They're like, oh, I met this guy. The first question is, what does he do?
Yeah, that is accurate. We never ask what do you do. We don't care.
And to Rollo's point,
we're not saying that's unfair.
And by the way, we're not saying that what you do isn't important.
In his book, men are looked at as success objects. Women are looked at as sex objects.
See, that's why I think I'm a man.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
because I'm like her.
I think. Listen, and I will say this.
No, I agree, Brandy. You are telling the truth.
I will say this: that I think society thus far it's a patriarchy. Like that is what has existed thus far. I think moving forward, I think we're going to start seeing a female take a more of the dominant role of the provider, less of the
up until the natural disaster hits, or
and
the
then it's
war
like,
happens.
Oh shit! Somebody broke in my house with a gun. So get him, babe.
Let me see.
No, I'm baiting.
I mean, I have a
So many badass women that can take care of this.
We're in a different society, homeboy.
Let me see if I'm gonna answer. I
probably have better aim than you, bucko.
All right, I'm gonna answer your question. There we go. I'm gonna answer your question real quick, and this is Brandy as well. It's the difference between proximate goals and ultimate goals. Okay, so your proximate goal is this. When I saw my wife in the club way back when, 27 years ago, I was like, I wasn't going, I wonder if she'd be great as a mother for my child. I was looking at her going, I really want to tap that ass. I really want to get in bed with this. I really want to have sex with. That's proximate goals. Those are proximate causes. I want to have sex. The ultimate outcome, the ultimate goal of that is to reproduce and have children. The reason why I'm saying this here on Access Vegas is because some sons of bitches have been trying to run Myron up this flagpole for talking about how these girls got him because they said, oh, well, he thinks it's all about just fucking. That's all it is. It's all about fucking. No, it's not all about fucking. It's also about the ultimate goal versus the proximate goal. Yes, recreational use only. I don't want to have babies with this girl. She might even be pregnant, unfortunately, and then leaves you because he doesn't want the ultimate goal. He just wants the proximate goal. So there's a difference between approximation and then there's the actual outcome of that thing.
You guys will never believe this. Sometimes men lie in order to have sex with you.
Oh my.
Doing. We all know that. We all know that.
And they continue to lie throughout the entire relationship.
Right, but hold on. But do you see the problem, though? Remember the discussion we had previously? He doesn't want to be in a relationship. That's because of his insecurity or whatever. What if he isn't insecure? What if he's just lying? Gia, and you can't tell the difference. What if he had made a determination based on your past and was just willing to have sex with you and was willing to say anything? Let's because Bree hasn't spoken.
That's an ultimate cause.
Go ahead. Let's talk to Bree. Bree hasn't spoken. Go ahead, Bree.
Just put that anywhere. The main reason that people lie in the first place is to make up for their shortcomings.
Men will lie to have sex.
Or they lie to not hurt people's feelings.
Sex is going to come above everything for men.
Doesn't that go hand in hand with insecurities?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
They wouldn't have to lie.
If they weren't so insecure about their shortcomings, they wouldn't feel the need to lie.
Okay, so if there was there's two different lies. Me saying I love you and I want to be with you forever in order to have sexual intercourse.
Well, that's like love bombing.
Right, correct, but that's not an insecurity or shortcoming. Okay. Shortcoming is, hey, here's the Lambo that I own when I really rented it. That's an insecurity because of a shortcoming.
I understand what you're saying.
We're talking about love bombing is a great word.
Yeah.
Love bombing in order to make a girl believe I'm here forever when I'm only here for the short term.
Right,
because men throughout history, and by the way, this is also with monkeys, bonobos, you can look at chimpanzees, men will have multiple female sexual partners, and they'll do so because they invest less in gestation than a woman does.
Yeah, that's a little different than what I was thinking because that's the difference between insecurities and just desperation.
I'm sure
because love bombing is desperation.
Men or women? Desperation. I know some guys who do it. They do it very well. They don't feel like they're desperate at all.
No,
extremely well. They'll do it all the time. But the point I'm trying to make is now we get back to the whole original discussion we had before. The discussion was, hey, when I have multiple sexual partners as a woman and men find out about it, if the man doesn't like me, then that means he's not the right man for me. But what if you think he is the right man for you and he's willing to lie in order to have sex with you when he has no intention of being in a long-term relationship? Have any of you ladies ever heard of that happening?
Absolutely.
Sure.
It happens to everyone.
Listen, at the end of the day, I think the problem is what you're describing, always. The whole gym situation, right? When you see it, is she hot, right? It's all about her looks, right? But then a female says, what does he do for a living? Like, what can he provide you, right? And I think that is thus far in society, for as long as it has been an oppression of women. This, from a feminist standpoint, oppression of women that women's place was to be the nurturer, right? And the men is the provider.
Yes. So you want to be masculine. You want to be the provider.
I'm just saying, I think in the future, right? I think we're now, I think what's going on in society right now is a really unique situation where never in history, right, has women literally equality in pay. They're doing the same jobs as men.
And they're just terrible.
But I think it's also
I'm not destroying us. All right, Before we get into before I completely
about
debunk
what
your whole thing on the gender pay gap, which is utter horseshit. But the reason why it is because we have what's called a division of labor, and the reason we have a division of labor is because women are the vulnerable sex and men are the disposable sex. They are the sacrificial sex. Next time there is a war, you will not be asked to go fight that war.
Can I touch on
the
that?
rights that you enjoy right now, your reproductive rights and everything that you enjoy in this country right now is defended by men, and you have the luxury.
And you exist because of a fucking female, and I want to put that out there.
We don't deny that.
Do not deny that.
Hold on.
He's not discrediting that.
One person at a time. Bree, go.
I think that is 100% okay. Women are here to do things that men cannot, and men are here to do things that women cannot. We are here to complement each other. I don't think that's a problem. I think it's a problem when you make it a problem.
Either, but I think so often we look at the women as the nurturer and the men as the provider.
But that's okay.
That is your natural
that's what we're here for.
That's okay.
Gia, can I say?
That's what we're made for.
Gia, let me say two different things.
Welcome to planet Earth.
Number one. The fact that it was that way previously is not because of culture; it's because of genetics. It is a function of genetics, and the reason why. Remember, I went to.
Sure, yes. A man, correct. Whatever he just said.
Genetics. So all these people who are like trying to show body positivity to try to change the way we view women, that's never going to work because, guys, seriously, one at a time, please.
We got to snort. Sorry.
Snorted.
Okay.
I didn't say anything.
So when we talk about like body positivity or things like that, when we see Victoria's Secret trying to change the way men view women, that's not going to work because men. God, is everything all right?
I'm laughing because it's funny.
Okay. Because of that whole thing, we're not going to change the way we do because it's a function of genetics. And that's what the 37 culture study proves is it's a function of genetics. What you're saying in the future is also true. Do men want a man or do men need a man? I'll tell you one thing that we don't talk about that much. It's how many women own guns. Because here's the thing, Davrick, it legitimately does change the argument. During the time when King Xerxes invades Sparta, they needed those fucking Spartan men to fucking defend Greece. There was no question, and there were no women going out there to do that. Today, women, when somebody breaks in their house, women have Mossbergs and fucking Glocks. And the thing that part of it has definitely changed. But when we talk about what you said before, when there's a firefight, it's dealing with police, or if the Chinese fucking invade, all of a sudden men become extremely useful again.
That's because their ego, their masculinity, which is
we're better at fighting.
We need that.
We're better at fighting.
Listen, perchance because you fight from a brutality perspective, right? But a female might fight with a mentality perspective, right? And I think that's what the difference is.
When the bullets start flying, it won't matter if you're fighting.
Maybe, but why do we have to fucking? Why is there bullets being shot? What if a female comes into play and is able to basically handle things better than a man did?
Then they should try.
That ensues violence, but a female is like,
somebody breaks in my house.
They've had the past 70 years to do that.
I never got my wording before, but what I was gonna say was basically I feel like it's also contradicting at the same time because I feel like in this industry, I'm sure Gia can relate. But so we work in the bottle service. We're never gonna make this money that we're ever gonna make again. It's based off looks. We make more than doctors. We make the best money ever. OnlyFans girls like you content also. We make way more than guys could ever make, like 10 times more. But then so the guys also when I've been in relationships, they've always been like, oh well, you make more money, like you're gonna pay for it kind of thing. Because they assume because we make more money than are also like busters, you know.
So you're talking about in your environment.
They know how much we make. They know how much we make, and they know sometimes they feel like, oh, you make way more than I do, so like you pay for it.
Because I love you, Michelle, but the 3 men at this table make more money than you.
I know. I'm just saying guys in general. Like if we were to date
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you.
If we were to date a regular guy.
Can I just say something?
Tap me in.
You guys are that 1%.
I totally agree with you. Go ahead. Ali, go ahead. Ali.
Okay. I've only dated one guy out of below my tax bracket, right? Treated me worse than I had ever been treated before. So I was like, why the fuck would I do that again?
You're like,
right? Took care of the bill, took care of this, trying to help him. I
gave an ugly dude a chance.
But do you know why? But do you know why that happened?
Gave one normal guy a chance.
But do you know why that happened? Because men feel like they need to be providers.
I will never. Yeah, and I love that. Honestly, the one thing COVID taught me is I want to be home and I want to go get pedicures and go be on the country club. You can go do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, but you can do that with your own fucking money. And I feel like sometimes I feel like men will look at women that are in bottle service or OnlyFans and they'll think of them lesser. I'm not going to marry that girl because she has an OnlyFans or she's in bottle service.
I don't have an OnlyFans.
No, I'm not talking about you specifically.
And I've been in bottle service. I worked for Tao. I worked for Tao Group. I worked for Tao. I will always go back to stripping.
Number one. This is the thing. Men will be like, I won't marry a stripper. I won't marry a girl in OnlyFans. I won't marry a girl that does bottle service. But she makes a fuck ton of money, and that's intimidating, right? However she makes that money.
Never go.
But a man will be like, you know what? You have an OnlyFans.
Can it be something else than intimidation?
And the thing is,
can it simply be you make a shit ton of more money than I do, and you make more money than 90% of guys because you're on OnlyFans, and most likely, I don't know what your earning is, but if you're one of the top 10% earners, you're going to be making more money. If you're even on Instagram and you're flying to Aruba or people are taking you, you are bottle girl because people are putting you into that position in the first place. 90% of the guys who you're going to meet are not going to make as much money as you. They're not going to have, in this case.
Well, let's ask Gio. Gio, the top 10% of wage earners in the United States make what? What do you think?
80,000.
No, the top 10.
Top 10%, yeah. Let's see answer.
The top 10%.
Yeah.
In the U.S.
Yeah.
Top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Of what?
Yeah, maybe 250.
It's about 170. The top 1%. What do you think they make?
Over $1 million.
They make 400,000. Okay, the average man in the United States makes how much?
Oh God, probably like 45,000.
About 37.
Yeah.
So it's lower than a lot of people think. And then when you start stratifying men based on their income, man, it becomes real fucking hard to keep them to yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? That becomes a serious issue because a lot of women are like, I want a guy who makes 500,000 or 200,000 a year, but that's less than 1% of men. You saying? But that's the problem. Whereas when we look back and we're like, I want someone who's young and is just going to not have a high body count and be loyal to me, that's like 14% of women. So that's the problem. That's where the difference is. If there's only 0.2% of me and there's 14% for you, that the fractions don't work out. And that's why a lot of women complain because they keep dating Brock the bartender or whoever, Mike the male stripper, and over again they're like, why does he keep cheating? And the reason why is because there's so few of him and there's so many, not to denigrate any of you, but there's so many of you, and that's the problem. So the supply and demand curve, when we don't look at it realistically, it becomes a serious problem, and that's the problem. So now on top of that, when we have a selection bias, then on top of that, you're doing OnlyFans. And so I'm not saying OnlyFans is right or wrong. What I'm saying is all of these things go into it where it's like, she's hot, she does OnlyFans, recreational use only, but I'm not going to wipe her up, and it becomes an issue.
But wait, you said three traits that you found attractive. Like that's what men look for, like in the top percent of men, right? Like loyalty, not high body count, right? Yeah. But do you think that is a little hypocritical? That
certainly hypocritical. Actually, you know what else is hypocritical?
Reality has a hypocritical bias.
You know what else is hypocritical? That God made me be able to bench press 350 and you can't. That's what's also hypocritical.
And you know what else? God made me produce you and you cannot produce.
Agreed. And absolutely, I totally agree with that. We love that.
Truly is pussy power.
Why is it a bad thing if a man takes care of a woman?
I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. What I think is a bad thing is that a man finds a woman that is able to make a lot of money or does something, and that's less attractive, right? I will say
competition.
No.
That's probably true. And not. Let's just say that this woman's not even in fucking OnlyFans, right? This woman is literally like she's a CEO of a Forbes 500 company, right? And the man next to her is like he's also in a Forbes 500 company, but he's probably not going to pick her because she threatens his ego.
Let me land this plane real quick. Okay, so here's the thing is, the number one reason for divorce, and women initiate 75% of divorces right now. The number one reason for divorce is because the woman and the man were making equal, or the man was making more.
Oh, the woman was making more.
The woman was when the woman begins to make more, that's what precipitates divorce. It is the woman that divorces the guy who does not have as much money because now she's in a different tax bracket. She's in a new status. She's like, why am I with this bro guy when I can get with these guys that I'm working with 40 hours a week who I have to answer to because they're my supervisors. They are above me in rank in this, whatever this hierarchy is in the American workplace. Why am I going to listen to what my husband has to say? He don't make as much money as I do. I make more and he's out the door. Do you understand what I'm saying? The reason for that is because women are built that way. And we come all the way full circle once again. Women are the vulnerable sex. Men are the sacrificial / disposable sex. We have to go because
women
men
get naked
have,
and men burn themselves on fire for like a protest, right? They put themselves on fire.
No, but we do die. We are like significantly 4 times likely to die from suicide. We're far more likely to die.
Men die from suicide. They die higher at risk at work. They die more often. They die from suicide. They die from work. They die from military deaths.
They die from violence.
Die from male-on-male violence.
Male-on-male violence.
But if you would bring that back to like basic, like okay, so like. All right, bring that back to the basics of whatever. To live, to exist, right? Men are far more likely to die than women, right? Does that make a man less, you know what I mean? When you say, you look at a woman, whether or not they can reproduce for you, right? And that's fundamentally, that's right. That's how life, we go on, right?
Yeah, sure.
You look at a woman like, whether or not she have wide hips, does she have big tits, you know, whatever, is she young, youthful? Those are things that you find attractive, right? Now, but men themselves, right, are far more likely to die or for whatever reason, like than women, right?
Yes.
So does that make you, you know, when you talk about what species is kind of, I don't want to say inferior
Gender.
or superior, right?
We're not saying it's superior.
Well, I'm not saying either, but I'm just saying when you say what's more likely to outlive another, it's
women are far more likely to outlive men.
Yes.
51% of the human population is female. 49% is male, and the difference is because women live to 70. Women live to 78. Men live to 72. The reason why is we're 4 times more likely to commit suicide. By the way, men and women attempt suicide at the same rate. Men commit suicide at a much higher rate. When men are divorced after the age of 40 and they have lost their money, they are 9 times as likely to commit suicide. 78% of divorces are initiated by women, and below the age of 30, 33% of men have 0 sexual partners. Men are far more likely to die from violence. Men are far more likely to die from cancer, heart disease, lung disease. That's the problem. That's the issue that happens. We're not complaining, by the way. Nobody here is saying that we're a victim. The point is that's the reason why we are the disposable sex.
Well, I'm glad you guys are talking about this because I feel like it's not talked about enough, and there's not enough help for men because men feel like they can't show their feelings because women have
That's
such
certainly
strong
true. Yes, when men are
views
victims,
on men.
yes. So when men are victims of domestic abuse, which does happen, and there are actually male domestic. The problem is, anytime if I got hit by a woman and I go tell my friends, they will fucking laugh at me. I'm sorry,
But
I don't
it's
care
not
what you
funny.
say.
It's
They will
not
100% laugh at me, and I can't go off and you're correct about
It's
that.
not funny.
Also,
let me hit on that too, but go ahead.
Also, the other thing is like my feelings towards I might want to self-delete in my life. Me going to talk to my friends, men are not encouraged to go express themselves.
And you know what?
They're
And women are going to cut you down and tell you to be a man, man up.
That's correct.
Like, rub some dirt on it. It's not okay. It's not talked about enough, and there's not enough emotional support for men, and it makes me super frustrated.
Let me just hold that thought. When you say vulnerability and they can't talk about their feelings, it's not talking about feelings. Everything we have said up here right now has been factual. It's not like I feel like this happened. I know this is happening. I think this is happening. I hear the stats, hear the studies, and that's actually the problem. You can't express what we have said in a public format because the fucking FBI will call you a fucking Chad or a Stacy or a Red Pill or a Manosphere.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. It's
so
not
the moment you bring that up in a public forum is the moment they try to literally silence you in the most violent and the quickest way they possibly can. Go
It's
ahead.
really unfortunate. I'm sorry that happens to you.
I was just going to touch base on the Bill Burr little tragedy.
Okay, go right
Bill Burr is the greatest.
Why not?
Like,
Rock and roll.
He has a whole spiel that he does about, like, are you a fucking faggot? Because he's like, oh my god, if it's raining and I use an umbrella, I'm a fucking faggot. Like,
Canceled.
like that. Like, he just touches, like, why can men not say, like, that puppy's so cute? Can I touch that puppy? Like, I want to pet that puppy.
Hey, I rescue cats,
are you
dude,
A
so I'm-
faggot?
yeah.
Like, it just, men get a bad rep
I
for that.
speak
Like, they
dog.
can't show
Thank you
their
very
emotions.
much.
Real quick.
Oh my god.
Real quick.
You don't want to hear dog
They can't be
voice.
rational. They can't show their emotional
Real
side.
quick,
Like,
Alex
get it.
Patino, $10 super chat. Iraq and Afghanistan bet here. I will say females were never able to drag a 150-pound dummy for 50 meters, much less a wounded soldier that is 175 pounds plus 30 pounds of protective vest and equipment. And he's making when it comes
For how long? You say I couldn't drag that?
no, you probably could. But the thing is, as far as infantry is concerned, there is a standard. Like for instance, in police forces, there is a standard for women and a standard for men, and those are 2 different standards. And that seems fine until your child is kidnapped. Then those standards are very different, and you guys are like, no, I want men going after to chase this motherfucker. That's where things change. And you can say whatever you want until you have kids, and you start saying somebody can look. When all of a sudden it becomes the prosecution of a war to protect your freedom, you want fucking Herschel from. I'm sorry, Herschel's a bad word. You want fucking Brock from fucking Oklahoma with a fucking AR-15 protecting you. That's what happens. The world changes in those cases. That's not right or wrong. Women are better at sussing out hierarchies. Women are definitely, like you said before, women can have children. Hold on. Can we say that? Are we canceled? Women have children.
Yes.
XY chromosome can have children. I'm sorry, XX chromosome can have children.
Science.
XY chromosome cannot have children.
Just say it.
So that's one of the issues. So you understand there's difference. But none of what I'm saying is right or wrong. It's is or isn't. That's all it is.
And that's the realm. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I said in the beginning. You live in the realm of is or isn't.
I'm not saying. And I'm
not
the problem
saying,
is, Gia, you live in that same world
and
too.
You just agreed
but listen,
to it.
no. What I'm saying is that a female, right? Like you're putting evidence or examples of violence. Maybe it doesn't have to go violent.
No, but at the end, once we push to the edges of society, there's a reason why England is not the rule. Why King Charles no longer ruled the fucking colonies because of violence. There's a reason why Jefferson Davis was not able to separate the Confederacy from the Union because of violence.
Correct. But does that make it... Now we're the most evolutionized species, right?
No.
Does that mean that we can continue the violence, right?
No.
Does that mean we have to
hold on, time out. When we push to the edges of society, like for instance, Russia's a petro state, they invaded Ukraine. At some point, you can't say, why don't women take a charge of this and stop all this violence? No, they've invaded. Something has to be done. Someone has to bring tanks to bear. Someone has to bring arms to bear. You can't just keep saying, why don't we all just be rational and get along? It does not work that way. When Russia invaded Afghanistan, we helped
and
the Afghans.
And you know why it doesn't? And you know why? Because men exist in the world.
Do you know why women aren't in charge and why we
are in charge?
No.
Angela Merkel was in charge.
Who's the female president right now of any country right now? Babe, come on, tell me.
There's Merkel just left. She was chancellor of Germany.
That's fine. But the majority is men, right? Is that correct or no?
100%.
Okay, that's correct.
But why?
Because women have feelings, and we're gonna come down to a conference meeting, and we're gonna start crying. We're gonna be like, oh my god, my country's we're struggling so much because we can't do this, we can't do that. We just can't do this. Like men, they're just like, all right, this and this needs to be done. We're gonna do it. Women aren't gonna do that. Women aren't gonna do what needs to be done. That's why, because we have feelings.
Wait, we're direct traffic.
That's literally patriarchy.
This is why we don't have this.
So I agree with you, except for the fact it should have been worded as everyone has feelings. Women are more emotional. Men are more
there you
logical.
go. Thank you, Bree. Thank you.
But that doesn't make them less logical.
Time out.
We're still logical, but we're gonna bring our emotional. We're gonna bring our emotional feelings
more
into
likely to make a decision based on logic.
Feelings.
We're more likely.
So you mean to tell me that you mean to tell me that there's any logic in the violence of anything, right?
No, hold on. Time out.
Absolutely.
It's not that. Hold on. It's not. There's no logic in Hitler invading Russia in 1944, 45. Somebody remind me. The logic was fucking Stalin defending himself. There was no logic in fucking Germany invading France. There was logic in the United States and UK invading Normandy to stop the invasion of the Nazis. That's what happens. It's not violence. It is that violence sometimes has to be met with violence, and that is perfectly logical. That is the only way that it can work. When someone breaks into my house, I will shoot them.
And I don't disagree with that any means. But I'm just saying that perhaps that we can pretend in the future change the way we view things, the way we approach things.
We do. This is the least violent.
And I will say
time in history.
I will say Russia's invasion of Ukraine, for example, was a power move. It essentially was a power move, right? And where did that power move come from? Men in power wanting big dick energy. And I feel like maybe a female would have understood the rationale, like, hey, we need to coexist, right? We need to use each other's resources. Us attacking each other might not do as much. It does more damage than it does good.
Right, but this is also the most peaceful time in history. We have evolved. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I lost all train of thought.
Oh God.
Have an edible? Annalise, what do you think?
I just love you guys.
I mean, I just
it's a give and take.
I wish we just didn't live in a world, and I understand that, and like this world that we've lived in thus far, right, has always been like the male has been more of the dominating force, and the female has been kind of taking the lesser role, right?
No,
the back
they are
role,
the vulnerable role.
The vulnerable role, right? But vulnerability isn't isn't necessarily a negative standpoint. Right? Vulnerability shows that, you're able to see.
Okay, wait. Let me
No.
say this.
It literally
you guys
is
keep
the
pounding this
definition
idea
of
that
vulnerability.
women are like a certain way into our heads, right? But over biology, the way that it goes, the way of evolution, right? Like, you kept, if you keep doing something to someone's body over and over and over and over and over during generations, it's going to eventually create that. Right, because the evolution's gonna learn and be like, this is what we need.
Vulnerable.
Well, correct, but here's the thing: witches were burnt, right, and they were healers.
So if
and
you keep putting
women were healers, and they were powerful.
They were burnt.
They were burnt
because the people who believed in burning witches believed in tarot cards and astrology and just different variations of energy and numerology.
They were
and witchcraft.
You're saying those are the people that burnt them.
They believed that witchcraft was real.
Hold on. Why do we not burn witches now? Because because rational people understand that witchcraft isn't real. That's why we don't burn them.
But who says it's not real?
I do.
If people are religious, also they want that they believe in the black and white. They don't believe in the gray. So if there's witchcraft, that's the gray. People believe in black and white. They don't believe in the gray. It's just like spirits now. Yeah. If people believe in spirits, then it's like against.
And listen, you,
Michael, it's forbidden. Just like witchcraft. It's just like the witchcraft.
Hey guys, we're gonna go one person at a time. Michelle, have you finished talking?
Are you done?
Michelle, you're done.
Michael,
Go ahead, Gia.
You believe in You believe in the realm of fact. And false, right? Like, so you believe in evidence, scientific theory. You believe in the scientific method proving something.
It's not a
true or
belief, but go ahead.
That's
it's a methodology for proving things. Yeah,
correct. That's absolutely your approach to life, right? And then you have other people that believe in they believe in something completely different, right? They believe in manifestation. They believe in the
magical thinking.
Yes.
Sure. Right. But in no way
Allie, we can hear you.
In no way is what I'm not saying what you believe is right and what I believe is wrong, and I'm not saying what I believe is right and what you believe is wrong. And I feel like that's the biggest problem.
Okay, here's the difference. Okay, it's not about right and wrong.
Okay.
It's about what is and what isn't.
But what you know as what is and what isn't is what you know as right now.
No, it is.
No, that is what you know that exists in today's. That is what you know that exists in what your knowledge of today at the moment, at this exact moment in time. In fucking 5 years, what you might know as a fucking fact might be proven wrong.
And we will erase that part of the book, and we will write in the new information.
I feel like everyone wants something to believe in, and people want something to believe in, so that they know that all their good that they did at the end of the day isn't going to waste. So they just want something like it's like the jail system. If you do bad, you go to jail. You know, this sounds stupid.
She's looking for a punitive afterlife.
No, I'm just saying people want a reason to know that all their good they're doing is going to go get rewarded at the end of the day.
So Michelle, you're having a conversation about religion, and she's having a conversation about astrology,
existentialism.
No, wait. Rollo.
Okay,
Rollo, I have a question for you.
All right,
Rollo, the pyramids of Giza.
Wait, stop. Say it in 2 sentences.
Pyramids of Giza, please. Right, because what you know of today, right? Please, there is no sign. What we know of as of right now, the pyramids of Giza, right? Our idea of the people that lived during that time period, right, could have never had the technology, right?
They could and did.
Correct. They could and did, but our belief of that time period, what existed during that time period. That really wasn't.
No, those are YouTube videos that start making up nonsense about aliens building the pyramid. We absolutely had.
And you know why?
Archimedes came came during the time of the pyramids. We fully understand how to use fulcrum and leverage in order to build pyramids. This is ridiculous. This ridiculous idea that Stonehenge and pyramids were made by aliens. They were made by fucking humans.
I absolutely agree. That's 100%. Why people believe that? Why some extraterrestrial police has to come in to come in and basically help humans build these major pyramids, right? Perhaps, right, our idea of what civilization was back then is very different than what we believe. Because here's the thing. Maybe.
Do you think that the Egyptians who were building the pyramids back then believed that aliens were helping them build those pyramids?
No. This is what a fundamental fact. This is a flaw.
They're like, watch this. Millions of years from now,
why people today? This is the flaw. This is the flaw in what people believe today, right? We believe that every generation before us, right, was less educated. They didn't know as much, right?
They were correct.
Here, and that might be the flaw.
Have archaeologists dug up an iPhone?
Archaeologists have not proven. There's no scientific proof that describes how the fuck that the pyramids of Giza were built.
There is.
There's absolutely no explanation to determine how they could have such symmetry, right?
You have to stop getting your facts from YouTube videos. Yes, it's a simple function of physics. It took a lot of slave labor over the course of hundreds of years. And that's how the pyramids were built. Yes,
and they could bring up like bricks that were tons
they can
with perfect precision.
See, so one of the so this goes back
with
lots and lots of Hebrews.
Right now, they say that it would be a very difficult time with our modern technology. There's been numerous sources that said it would be very difficult for us to build the pyramids of Giza.
We can hear you.
Too loud. First off, the Luxor is a fucking pyramid.
Sorry,
we can hear you.
They say there has been numerous sources. Right, archaeologists can't explain it. Scientists can't explain it.
The archaeologists can't explain it. You've been watching YouTube videos and reading Reddit posts.
I have not been watching. What? Oh, wait. So, because you've been on site, right?
I'm going to answer both of you, okay?
You've been on site.
I'm going to answer both of you.
You've been on site.
I'm going to answer both of you. Here we go, okay? Even if you're correct and he is not correct and aliens came down.
I'm not saying there's aliens that came down. I never said that.
All right.
I'm discrediting that idea.
Okay, let's just say, for sake of argument, that aliens came down and they built the pyramids. We could still say, aliens, holy shit, they're in a ship? How does that work? Look at the anti-gravity. How do they move how do they do all this stuff?
We'd still use the scientific method.
We would still use the scientific method to look at the alien ship, putting the bricks by brick on top of there, because it's not fucking magic.
The point she's trying to make is that she believes that somehow from an architectural standpoint that Egyptians back then were more advanced than we are today. That's just not true. That it just isn't true.
Listen.
If you're saying science, like maybe they knew something we don't.
They don't. They absolutely didn't.
No.
How?
Michael, have they dug up any iPhones in ancient Egypt?
Michael, how could you determine? Like, there's no measurement for you to determine that,
there is.
That fundamental flaw, the whole idea that today we believe that aliens must have came in and helped these people. No, perhaps that they were a very evolved species, far more evolved that we conceptualize, far more evolved that we have any idea of what they are. We cannot prove what they were because we never lived during those times, right?
I don't think we found any bulldozers or like backhoes from ancient Egypt.
You're absolutely, but guess what? Today, to build the precision of those pyramids would be extremely difficult with our modern technology.
No, it wouldn't.
So
it'd be quite easy with our modern technology. With cranes, it'd be incredibly easy to build pyramids.
All I'm saying is, like, listen, it's really listen.
She's trying to make it bigger.
What's happening?
There is so many evidence that proves that at that time of era, the Egyptians.
Ancient Aliens that is full of shit. That's all it is.
Listen, what I'm saying is, at that time period, right? What we believe, what was capable of what during that time period, what their brain capacity, what could not build such structures.
They could.
They did. You're right. They could.
Rollo, clock. Where are we at, Rollo?
They did, and they could, which proves that we have no concept of what the fuck they could have done.
My God, it boggles the mind. Chase, what else boggles the mind?
But why are you so convinced that you are the most evolved species? Why are you convinced that today you know far more?
Egyptians and Americans are the same species.
Cycle them up, Chase.
Bro,
we have.
I'm saying today, right now, today is 2023. Why do you think that you know more in 2023 that they than that?
Great question. Don't interrupt. Here's the reason why. Because when Johannes Kepler made these observations of planetary motion, then Isaac Newton took those observations and created the laws of motion and started to understand how gravity worked. One person made actual objective observations, and a second person stood on the shoulders of giants. Max Planck helped Albert Einstein come up with his photoelectric effect, okay? And Werner Heisenberg helped other people understand the concept of quantum mechanics.
All masters of quantum physics, all masters of quantum physics,
My point is, there's objective facts, and people can use those objective facts to pass into the future, which means I know more about physics than Isaac Newton did. And that's a fact, and Isaac Newton would agree with that, because I understand, I have the advent of all of his information in Principia Mathematica, and he doesn't have the advent of the information that I have.
And this is the most perfect.
We are more advanced.
Full circle, right? In 100 years, what you know of today might be completely fucking disproved, discredited. What you're saying as a fact today.
You know what they will do?
And that's why
I will go into the book and erase
and
that
that's
part
why I
and
live
put
in the
another
realm of
part in.
could be or couldn't be, and isn't it, because what exists right now, what your concept of what reality is right now is only of what we know of what is in the previous past of history, right?
You should start a cult. You should really start a cult. You can make a lot of money as a cult.
I mean, I have no interest in that.
We're beating up Brandy. Let's ask some questions.
Chase, super chat.
I mean, let's talk about sex if that's the only thing that this show's about. Like, come on.
So the super chats are pretty mean. Do you want me to read them?
Let's hear them.
Every fucking one.
So we've got from Asteroid, SMH, I'm on the way.
Fire them off.
I'm on the way. These chicks are going to make me speed up the trip. We've got from Casual Germ, pineapple the blonde, please. I'm not sure what that means.
We don't pineapple here. We actually carry on conversations wherever they go. Keep going. Next one. Let's go.
And then we've got Modern Waggy. Ice just been sitting here in disbelief, like, what did I get myself into? R.I.P. Piggy's IQ.
Yeah, they all thought they were going to be like a
all right,
hot
next,
podcast.
I've got no more here.
Oh, that's it? I got more.
Okay, you got them. Go for them.
This panel proves that women running the world would ruin it. Look how much one in particular is argumentative. Roll those roughnecks. Hoorah!
But men ruling the road, like it's been going so well, right?
Yeah,
right?
you told them. That's
pretty
good.
well. I mean, we've actually we've cured malaria. We've cured we
built pyramids.
We've gotten rid of smallpox. The infant mortality rate has dropped precipitously. We've gone from 1 billion people in the year 1900 to almost 8 billion people now. Yeah, they've done pretty well.
Hold
Also, we landed on the fucking moon. We did pretty well. Yeah, actually we did.
We're gonna go there.
We landed on the fucking moon. And you have no concept of other planets. We have no idea what life exists on other planets.
Yeah, you're 100%
What are you talking
correct.
about? We've never even had this discussion. You don't know what I believe.
All right, Dila, here we go. What you guys are not talking about is women flaunting their money. I've dated a few high-earning women, lawyers, doctors, etc. They flexed on me. That's not insecurity. That's just unpleasant. Mrs. Piggy needs to go back to Narnia. It'll be interesting. Chalk T, thanks for this.
Explain flex.
It'll be.
I was gonna say, wait, Miss Piggy, what's the piggy part?
Hold, please.
Explain your flex.
It'll be interesting to see how quickly people will revert to their gender roles once the shit hits the fan. Yes, you are correct.
Facts.
The streets. Hey, over here, ladies. Okay, thank you. Top, this was really good. Top's been throwing some really good ones out. Thank you for these. $20. Could a high social media following for women act as a point of leverage in a relationship, not just as an easy off-ramp, but as the sort of as a threat to regulate their current partner's behavior?
Hold on. Yes, only in that it is a representation of their physical attractiveness. Yes, in that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you could have not a huge social media following and be an attractive woman, and you still have more leverage than a man. Mm-hmm. Women have more access to sex than men do.
I would agree with that.
So
I would agree with that.
Yes, only in that is it a representation of her physical attractiveness.
But I don't think it means. I don't think your social media has. Sorry, go ahead.
You can go around the horn if you want to answer that.
Never like.
It's $20 super chat.
Like never go against your partner with sex, right? That's the most disrespectful thing you could ever do.
Right, but we're talking about the end of the relationship. We're talking about the end of the relationship. That's what we mean by leverage.
Even at the end, even at the end, that's so disrespectful. Like, you should leave on good terms. Like, be okay. Like, it should never.
Let's look at Annalise.
Hey, guys, out of my fucking realm.
Guys, real quick, Annalise flew out here. Annalise, real quick, your answer to this question. What do you think?
Go ahead.
By the way, thank you so much for flying out here. I want to say thank you. Annalise, can you move a little bit more to your right, please?
You're talking about leverage at the end of a relationship.
Would you like or leverage in general?
Well,
like,
do you want me to read it to you?
I have a high following.
Yes.
People that I've dated haven't, and they hate that because
yes.
more eyes on me, more attention on me when we're out in public. They don't want to be recognized, whatever. And then they're also worried that if something happens, which does, and we break up, that I'm going to be like, go on YouTube and expose them.
Well, how about going on YouTube, go on a yacht the next day with a celebrity also? Do you understand what I'm saying? Getting exposed is bad, but the other idea would be like you having so many more options. And my point is, you would have those options even if you didn't have a large social media following because an attractive woman would have those options. Kylie, what do you have to say?
Yeah.
Coming from Frog Level, Arkansas, as we said, I've not had Instagram or social media that long. I don't, like, it doesn't take. I don't think that like having Instagram or having social media really like matters, right? Like we're gonna have leverage either way. If you're like a pretty girl or what, if you're a girl, right? You can just go out to the bar the next day after you break up with your boyfriend, or your boyfriend breaks up with you, and like you're gonna have like 20 different guys options like coming at you that night, right? So like it doesn't really matter if you have social media or not, right? Like is that what we're talking
Brandy,
about?
Brandy,
what do you think?
We want me to read it
What
to you
was the
again?
question?
Okay,
Yeah.
here we go. Could a high social media following for women act as a point of leverage in a relationship? Not just as an easy off-ramp, but as a sort of a threat to regulate their current partner's behavior to make them do what they want to. Because you have
Manipulation. Depends on the kind of guy
because
you're
you have
dating.
such a high following on your OnlyFans.
Okay.
Would you ever use it as leverage in the relationship because he knows, well, she can just go out and
I don't think
easily
she has to use it. I think
But
just
she
it
can-
exists.
I was gonna say like
It's
like
always
most of the
something that's
guys
hanging
I've
over his head.
most of the guys I've found and met like have found me through Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just kind of an unspoken thing that they know. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've never used as leverage. I think that's very manipulative. But I think like when a guy sees me and sees my following and then gets with me, like that's in the back of their head the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think they act different or do things differently because they're like afraid. Like
Yeah.
when a breakup happens, their biggest fear is me posting that I'm single, like promoting that
Bam.
I'm single, and like all my DMs blowing up and things like that. So yeah, I think it makes them think twice before doing something.
It's like a gun in the house. You don't even have to see the gun.
Yeah.
You just know that it's in the house, and that's enough. Or no, 100%. And I don't even think you have to, like you said, I don't think you have to try to use it. I think it just exists.
Yeah.
You just generally have more options. Most guys, almost in every case, unless you're, Justin Timberlake dating an extremely overweight woman, most women are going to have more options than men. Generally, when the breakup happens.
Yeah.
For sure. Let me read the super chat. This is Mu Axa. You guys really need to try to change maybe your YouTube handles to something like readable. How do we make development if we can't make objective observations to work from? What's the point if it all might change? That's a really great point. The objective observations that we make in the past lead us to science. And if we don't do that, then this conversation that we're having that's been beamed over satellite and over fiber optic all over the world doesn't happen. Because why?
Well,
because objective science doesn't
Because
exist.
it's what's called collective intelligence is what it is. That's what one of the strengths of our species is that we have, like, I don't know how to make this
Correct.
article. I know how to use it.
Yes.
I know how to base in new inventions and innovations on what I can do with this. But if you ask me to put together a cell phone, I don't know, but I don't have to know because there's dozens and if not millions of people over the course of history who figured out electricity, figured out how to do a little mini TV thing, how to do microchips and stuff like that. I didn't have to do that. So technically, every time any of you guys are on text right now, you're thanking generations that came before you who didn't know any more than the generation that was before that. And I'm just talking about cell phones. You could talk about damn near anything you want. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
To piss everybody off in here too, guess who they all are? They're all men.
Men who?
Yeah, for largely.
Guess who owns Apple? Who owns Microsoft? Who owns Google? Who owns?
They had to be because
Come on.
the guys who came up with the inventions were the ones who had the money and the resources and the things that women wanted so that they could breed and have more babies.
I mean, there's also the advent of the idea that men did those things specifically to get the attention of women in the first place. Like,
Art, industry, innovation, invention. Beta males, by the way, are the drivers of innovation and technology.
That's the absolute truth.
But also men take the STEM roles, right?
Yeah.
Science, technology, engineering,
Well,
mathematical roles.
every beta male who came up with like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates.
So-
I'm throwing out people that you would
Sure,
recognize
sure.
right now. But over the course of centuries, like the people who made the greatest innovations were beta males trying to find an end run or find some way to do value added so that they could get the girl and they could
100%.
have babies and they go, you
Makes
know what?
sense.
I'm an ugly schmuck, but I can make beautiful things and I can make stuff of value. Therefore, I can still reproduce as a result.
That's why
of that.
Jeff Bezos has an attractive girlfriend that he paid $38 billion for.
Dirty Sanchez is hardly.
It's because he has money,
Well,
right?
to a point for
It's
him.
probably
He's not an attractive guy.
It's because he has money,
Yeah,
right?
dude, guys, go back and look.
correct,
Guys, go back and look at pictures of Melinda Gates in college. She was fucking fine.
Not bad.
Like that wasn't an accident. Go back and look at the supermodels that Steve Jobs was dating, and look at the supermodels that Elon Musk ended up dating. Go ahead.
Listen, so if I'm gonna get hated for this, but if women if
Welcome
we
to
use,
my world.
thank you. Okay, so if we used our brains, we would go after the nerds in high school. You know why? Because like they're the ones who become successful in the future. Like we would go after the nerds in college because they're the ones who are successful. They make the money. They come up with the engineering. Like they're engineers. They're doctors. They come up with these like, you know, Apple, like whatever, Steve Jobs or whatever. Like, you know, like they're the nerds, and like we don't go after them, right? Like all the hot girls and stuff. Like they're cheerleaders, and they're like, I'm gonna go after the jock. Well, guess what the jock does after high school? Like. He just sits on his like mom's couch and just does nothing.
He lays concrete.
He lays concrete. He's a blue collar job guy, and like nobody cares. Nobody cares. And so it's just like if we were a little bit smarter, like these are the guys that we'd be going after the whole time, but we don't realize it until like we're like 25, 30 years old, right? And like it's just so strange.
Because at that point, now you're looking for a different type of value, not just a cute hot boy.
That's women who are looking for a man to be a provider. Though not all women look for that.
That is true.
Real quick, Maria Vasquez.
Okay, so
I got to read the super chat. Maria Vasquez. Just FYI, everyone here, 99% came from Annalise promoting the show. Let her talk. We don't care about anyone but her.
All right, Annalise, let me hear it. Annalise, let's hear it. It's all for you, baby. Let's hear it.
What do you want me to say?
Say something, baby. It's all for you. Come on.
Talk about your angel numbers.
Talk about something. It's all for you. Let's hear it.
Ask me a question. I can't.
Your angel numbers.
So much has been going on this whole time.
What's your middle name? What's your middle name?
One.
You don't have a middle name?
Nope.
Oh, that's cute. That's cool. Most people have middle names, so there you go.
I have 5 older sisters, and none of us have.
I got a question for the girls here. Do you think that you are in the top 10% of women sexual market value versus personal worth? Okay, so do you think you are in the top 10% of women?
Yeah, before
we go around the table,
before we go on, all of you are friends of mine. I care about you all dearly. This is not a function of your personal self-worth.
I don't give a shit. Go for it.
All of you I invite to my charity events. All of you help me raise money for charity. This is not a function of personal self-worth. This is a function of supply and demand of the
Sexual
opposite
market
sex.
value.
Sexual market value.
Wait,
right.
What was the second part though? You said sexual.
Okay,
and then
well,
So don't put feelings into it. That's what that means.
Like Annalise, you have value to the people you help in your life, but how attractive are you to the opposite sex?
We're just talking about attraction.
Are
like
you
any
in
actual substance?
Exactly.
Just like
well, yeah, obviously we all are.
in the top 10%.
Are we going around the table, or are we just?
Where do you think you land in that percent?
Are we going around the table?
Yeah, go ahead.
0 to 10 or what?
Well, 0 to 100, but yeah.
Wait,
Well, top 10%. Top 10%. Yeah, what percentage of hotness?
Of hotness?
Yeah. What are you? What would you rate?
Like, what do we rate ourselves?
Really conceited.
But don't do 1 to 10. Just do like 100% would be like the highest of the high.
Well,
100% would be a 10.
all right. Well,
Which is, by the way, I think the way we ought to do this. But
oh, what?
11.
What would you give me, Allie?
11.
that's
110.
110.
Allie would give me wait 11%.
That's 110%.
Babe? That's all I get from you?
10.
Oh, out of 10%,
Yeah,
you give me 11%.
11%.
All right, I guess I'm 11%. Allie gave me 11. So.
And 11, so it'd be 110.
All right, she gave me 110%.
There
Rollo.
you go. Okay, good. We're good at math now.
All right,
good.
what would you
Allie,
rate?
I give you like 120, babe.
What would you rate yourself, Allie? In the percentile, like
On
10%.
how men perceive me?
Yeah,
Like
1
what
to 10.
value-
Are you 10? Are you 10? Are you 9?
What
Are
value
you
that
8?
they're getting from me?
Just sexual market.
No. What do they think about you?
How
It's
hot
also
do they
the
think
reason
you
why
are?
we're asking this. It's also a comparison to other women.
You're saying it weird. If I think what they're asking us is
You're
to
asking,
rate
like, what we
ourselves
are,
on
like
a scale
a
of 1
1
to
out of
10.
10.
Right, but
1 out of
compared to other women. So it's a percentile. He's asking for a percentile.
I think I'm a hard 8.
13.
Hard 8?
Okay.
I'm a hard 8.
Okay,
I'm
so
not a 10 out of 10.
so what that
There's,
does, that puts you in the
there
top
are
20 percentile.
Sure.
Okay.
Allie Summers?
Allie Summers.
Hello.
Rate yourself 1 to 10.
Unrealistic, because honestly, there's some girls who just look like they popped out of a fucking
I
magazine.
love this question with you guys. Go ahead.
You know what I
Keep
mean?
going.
Like, I'm like, how is this even?
I'll tell you why in a
real?
minute. What do you
So,
what do
like,
you
and
think?
realistically, to like something like that,
Naturally or surgically?
8.
Either way.
8.3.
8.3. So you would be a 17%. That would be right.
Solid B.
Okay, good enough.
I'm pretty okay with that.
Okay, you're within the 20 percentile. Okay. Going down the line.
Annalise, where you at?
I keep seeing comments that are like, every single one of these girls has had so much plastic surgery on their faces. Like, I've never touched my face with anything.
Hold that thought. We're going to come back to that.
Hey, that's a good question. Ask how many girls
No
have plastic
Botox,
surgery
no
on their face
fillers. Like, I've never touched my face. I've only had my boobs done like 8 years ago. That's it.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10,
So
where are
shut
you
up.
And
at?
I've had my lips done.
What do you think? Where do you think you are at, Annalise, on a scale of 1 to 10?
And then we're just talking about like strictly
Sexual
looks.
market value, just hotness and sexiness, and here I am.
Maybe like a 9.
Okay, so you're in the top 10%.
I feel like this this question is so awkward for me.
Okay.
As far as men perceive me, I'd probably... Dude, I don't know. I would honestly give myself a good 6, 7. I keep it realistic. I keep it very realistic. I think I get hit on a lot more than I think I do, but I also don't think that I'm like all that in a bag of chips, especially here in Vegas.
Okay.
No.
So 6, 7, 6.5.
Yeah, sure.
Let's say 6.
Sure.
Okay.
I'd say 6.5 for me.
You,
Yeah.
6.5. Really? Okay. Really?
Very realistic.
Okay. Good though. Okay.
I'm saying
where
like
was
in
your-
person. What's funny though is like online. Like I feel like because I have a big following, the guys don't even have to find me that attractive. They see my following and think that I'm supposed to be. So like online it would be different, but in person when I'm walking around, like I don't get hit on that much, and I see beautiful women everywhere. So like, and my tattoos, like a lot of people fucking hate them.
I think it's a
we
big
gotta
factor
talk
too.
about
Like
this.
how you take photos and how you look on Instagram.
Gia, Mia, Gia.
Can be a lot
What do you think
different.
you are, girly friend?
I think my personality's better.
Me too.
What do you think you are?
fuck.
What do you think you are? Subjective, but you're the subject. So what do you think you are? Ballpark. Round it off.
Am I speaking?
Yeah.
Am I opening my mouth?
Yes.
Oh God, that depends, right?
What's going on your looks though?
Your looks.
Oh wait, so it's not like
Taverick, she's not wrong.
Just your looks.
yeah. So that
She's not wrong.
So am I? Because
Yours.
like a lot of men will be definitely intimidated by the way I speak.
Intimidated is not the correct word.
That's not the word.
Yeah.
You're
A
not-
lot of women say intimidated. It's not that. I didn't buy a bed made of rocks. That doesn't mean I'm intimidated by rocks. It means I bought a bed that's comfortable because I want to be comfortable. I don't get into relationships with women because I'm not intimidated with them. I get into relationships with women because they bring me peace. It is not a function of intimidation. If your female friends are telling you that men are intimidated
Let
by
her
you,
answer.
they're not doing you a favor. They're lying to you. Go ahead.
What do you think you are? What do you think you are? Stop. Just can you answer this real quick before you talk to him? Just tell me what do you think you are?
I'm just so fucking curious though. You wouldn't get in a relation with me because I challenge you?
No, I don't think that whatsoever. What I think is I would choose to get into a relationship with someone who brings me peace.
doesn't
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Okay,
I think
but what do you
peace
think
is
you
number
are?
one with
Hold on.
anybody.
You think that this fucking girl from Arkansas doesn't challenge me? You're out of your fucking mind.
So you wouldn't date me?
No, she doesn't.
What do you think
I'm
you
just
are?
curious.
But
Would
it's
you-
different. But it's different.
Would you date me?
It's different.
Based off of, but you know me, right?
Gia, my girlfriend's in the bathroom. We're not going to talk about this. Go ahead.
What do you think you are?
I don't. There is.
She
no,
just said she was a 6.5.
there's
She
no-
thinks she's
there's-
a 6.
there's
Like
no-
I'm a hard 4. I'm a hard 4 with makeup on. Okay.
There's no numerical answer. Like I don't. There's
You
no
said
numerical
6.
answer. I mean, it's objective or subjective to every
Subjective,
person.
yeah.
It's honest
Subjective to every
like,
person.
Michelle.
Okay, we'll give you a hard
to
6.
rate yourself.
Michelle, what do you think you are?
I don't think I'm anything special. I think like maybe 7 at most. But you are your own risk. You are your own worst critic. But also, I have to think of it in this way: like I am very humble, but in this industry that we work in, there's a million hot girls out here, a million girls audition, and for some reason, they chose me. So I have to think like maybe I am a little bit more than I am. But at the end of the day, like age is getting numbered out, and like
10 out of 10.
Also, I don't know.
What do you
Like
think you are? What do you think you are?
10.
She just said, "What'd you?"
I just
said
feel like
7,
very
huh?
She said
insecure.
7.
I'm very insecure because I'm like older now,
You
so
don't
I'm
have to. You don't have to write a
I'm
doctorate.
constantly
Just answer-
comparing myself to the younger
We're not
girls.
interrogating you.
What
It's a
is
simple
younger?
answer.
Everyone
Well,
Give us a
I
number.
mean,
What's your daddy hat?
well, to
say?
compare to like normal girls or Vegas girls,
We can
because
hear you.
Vegas girls, everyone's a 10 out of 10. That's why they
No,
moved
they're
to
not.
Vegas.
Your own-
Girls that move to Vegas are 10 out of 10.
No.
And like other girls are like basic.
Namaste. Find your sense.
For real though.
Okay, just give us a number. Can you give us a number?
7.
Okay, well,
7,
like,
8, 9?
I guess like a 6 or 7.
Okay, perfect. That's all I needed. Now, the reason why I am like
Nobody
floored,
here is a 6 or
the reason
7,
why
by
I'm
the way.
floored by here is not one of you said you were a 10.
I was going to, but
Okay, not one.
Okay, so you want to know what that is, Rollo?
No, hold on.
Hold on.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Hold that
The
thought.
other 21-year-old girls that we
Hold that
If
thought.
you say you're a 10, you're
I
saying
would
there's
never.
All right,
no
hold that.
one.
No,
Hold that-
I would
hold
never.
that thought.
I actually feel so insecure.
There you go.
I constantly compare myself to others, and social media doesn't do it any justice. Social media, like, you constantly compare yourself to other people.
See, let me.
Okay, let me just before you go. The reason why I'm floored that you guys didn't say 10 is because I was watching Pearl's show.
Oh my
Shout out
gosh.
to Pearl.
I saw that.
Every single girl on that show who was very much overweight, very much, certainly in their 30s or in their late 30s and early 40s. Every single woman on that show said she was a 10. Every one.
Okay, so the reason why is because most of the women in this room have either done a job where you had to compete with other people, so like bottle service where you had to go to tryouts, or you were a model, or you were competing with other girls on OnlyFans, or competing with other girls on Instagram as far as followers, likes, and some of the swag and some of the free stuff that you can get. So because of that, I think that because they're in competitive industries, have a more realistic view of what their actual value is.
We're also surrounded with way more beautiful
But that's
women.
that's part of the competition. That was my next point. Exactly
That's
right.
what she was getting into.
Exactly.
As well. So go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I don't fit any of those. Like, I'm not a bottle service girl.
But you do atmosphere modeling.
Barely. I do talent coordinating. I do marketing. I do a lot of other.
And you rated yourself an 8.
I did, and I just think that it's so important for girls to have confidence. But like, I mean, when you rate yourself a 10 out of 10, that means like nobody's hotter than you. Like, you are the hottest thing that there is. Like 10 out of 10, you're.
They think you're an 8.5, by the way. I'm just looking at the. I'm just looking at.
Walking around the earth, though.
I feel like it's good to be humble and it's good
to
to be confident.
Fucking magazine. You know what I mean, though? Like, they're just walking around like picture perfect all times. Like, I'm like, are you even human? Like, is this even real?
Well, I
Who are you
like
talking about? Like, who are you talking about specifically?
Oh God,
Megan Fox.
Oh, I don't.
But she is hot.
Who?
Megan
And
Fox.
she, I mean,
Yeah, Megan Fox. Okay.
But she can say that.
Well, like
But-
when I was watching the show with Pearl, and I think you probably saw it too.
Saw the
Is
same one.
like every single girl that was on there, and none of them are above a two
maybe a 2 or 3,
right?
yeah.
I mean, and that's just me being as objective as I possibly, and being as kind as I possibly can as well. And I'm looking at this, and I'm not to punch people in the face. I'm just saying, objectively speaking, and I find it real interesting that the hotter a woman gets, the more she's kind of like, maybe I'm a 7,
Because
or
they're
maybe
competing.
I'm a this,
Because-
right?
because they're forced into a
but they
narrow
also don't
funnel.
live. They also don't live in a world that these other girls do, who have to constantly inflate their egos to the point. I'm a 10. I've always been a 10. I'll be the 10 until the day I die.
And they
It's like
also-
this
But
positive,
also, can I
positive
just say
thinking
something
thing,
really
right?
quick that has to like do with that? Also, the way we are, we're like, we come to Vegas, we move into different states, we come to Vegas, we audition, where like thousands and thousands of the girls audition for the job. Only a few, they keep most of the girls that they keep on. So only like there's 5 spots that girls can get hired at, basically, kind of thing. So if we're one of those choosing 5, they're like you're one of the like top 1% of like thousands of girls that get hired. But also it's like everybody is replaceable. Like, you're not anything special. If you mess up, like, blah, blah, you're nothing. They make it seem like you're nothing newer than, like, someone else. Because at the end of the day, everyone is replaceable. So it makes you feel like you're not anything better than another one. And I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be 32 this year. Like, I compare myself to...
Really?
I compare myself to, like, all the new 21-year-olds that got hired and stuff like that. So I'm constantly, like, comparing myself to others.
I'm
and
33 this year.
It's, like, damaging. Yeah.
There's also like the Playboy thing. Like Hugh Hefner made it a thing where like those girls were never held captive. They never did anything, but like they were easily replaced. If they wanted to walk out the door, they could.
Yeah.
Somebody would replace them tomorrow.
So like what y'all were saying, like Megan Fox, were y'all saying that she was like classifying herself as a 10?
No, I classify her as a 10.
All right, like everybody would, but she could classify herself as a 10. And it wouldn't
I
be
don't
a
know if
problem
she- I don't know
because
if she
like
would, but-
I don't know if she would either, but she could. You know why? Because she is hot. Most men think she's hot. She's dated Machine Gun Kelly, which most women think is hot, right? So like, there you go. Like, I don't think he's hot either, but there are a lot of women who do think he is hot, right?
Yeah, there are a lot.
So
Babe, I'm not going to wear a pink dress. I'm not going to.
I don't want
Just
you
want
to.
to let you know that.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't. Dear God, please don't. He's not hot at all. But
And I don't want to hear the
think that.
chat asking me to put on a fucking dress. All right, just chill
Rolo,
the fuck
please
out.
put on a pink dress.
No.
Next Access Vegas.
It's more
Rolo's gonna
about
wear a pink dress.
It's more about blood with Machine
So
Gun Kelly.
I want to ask. I'm just gonna. So, am I correct in assuming that the hotter women are, the more realistic they are about their own sexual market value, as opposed to women who are lesser
I think-
or
I think-
aren't in this
I think it just
environment?
depends.
Go ahead,
Depends.
Bree.
It depends because first of all, you guys are all talking about this Vegas bottle service situation, which I totally get, but I'm like from a totally different world where like I'm with like Ford models and like it's so competitive, but at the same time they really like suck your dick and they're like, you are so unique because of this and this and this and this and this. So that's like why I was saying like I gave myself a 9, but I was like I almost gave myself a 10 because it's different. Like it's honestly, it sounds brutal what you guys.
Seems to me the hotter a girl is, the more realistic she is about her own sexual.
In my opinion, if you're getting paid for your looks, whether I like that Ford model look or not,
but I don't know if that's realistic. That might.
I'm not attracted to that, but you're getting paid for your looks.
I am.
You're a 10. You're a 10. Like a lot of girls walking around say they're a 10.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Right. And you get millions of dollars. Megan Fox, she's getting paid for her beauty.
Right.
She can say she's a 10, but I see a lot of girls out here. I'm a 10. I'm a 10. You're not a 10. You're an 8 at best. Because you're trying to compare yourself.
Will you give me a number?
Again, all perspective.
I'm not attracted to that.
No, the Ford model girl. You said the Ford model girl.
Yeah, me.
Right?
Yeah, but
I don't think he was talking about you specifically.
No.
Like, like for example, Dan Bilzerian, some of his girls, I don't find him attractive. That's not my thing, right? But some guys like the thin look, some guys like the big look. It's all a matter of what that guy wants. But a 10, she's getting. Megan Fox is getting paid for her beauty.
You can't say that.
Is she getting an Oscar for her acting?
Yep.
No.
All right, I got
ask you something really quick?
She did it in Transformers?
One question really quick.
Yes, but you have to. Do you have to do it 10 decibels lower?
I'll do 10 seconds. In real life, Megan Fox is like a 20 out of 20, 20 out of like a million out of 10.
Right. Most women would consider that.
If she wasn't an actress or anything, would you still think she's that same?
People would still think she was hot.
If someone's noticed, you think
she's hot.
If someone say you see someone and say you notice she's in Ford, you didn't know she was in Ford before, then would you still think of her as she's right here the same as she was?
I don't think it's based on notoriety.
I
don't think it is for females. I don't think it is for females.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Playboy, you're automatically going to go
very, very, very little. Once you see them in person, it's how physically attractive they are in person.
Machine Gun Kelly on the street is not Machine Gun Kelly on the stage.
But exactly, but once you know,
but men are different. Men are different because we're judged on how our performance and our competency, whereas women are judged on their physical attractiveness. Which when you see somebody,
Jack Harlow though.
Do you think that women who are like average women who are told that? Do you think that it's like a societal thing or something that we're putting into women's heads to say like, it doesn't matter if you're 50 pounds overweight, you're still hot. You can still be cute. You still go, girl. Do you think that mentality for an average woman to think that she's a 10 or to respond with I'm a 10, is that something that is sort of like a learned thing, or is it something
who is
that
we, Rollo? Society or like men or who? Well, you said we, so I'm asking.
So let's just say in this terms like a societal push, let's just say, or an education that says that
society is pushing.
Well, in the sense that women have to focus on confidence, right? And so if you're not hot, at least you can be confident. And part of that sort of faked or feigned confidence is I'm a 10, whereas. Then you're going to see all the people in the chat going, "Oh, these girls are no bigger than a 6 or 5. Look at all the plastic. Look at all the silicone. Look at all the Brazilian butt lips, right?"
But what do they jack off to every night? Plastic, silicone.
I love Lizzo so much because she's all about like pro body image. Like, look at me, I'm the best. Like, I don't care about my weight.
What do you think? What do you think, Lizzo?
She's the one that broke the ice. I feel like to where
if we ask Lizzo that question,
everyone
Lizzo would have a way different answer.
And people like different body types. A lot of people don't like skin and bones.
If we ask Lizzo what she thinks she is, what do you think she would say?
She'd say she's fucking hot.
Yeah.
Lizzo would say she was a 10.
She's the best bad bitch in the world. She's the best.
Lizzo would say she was a 10.
So Lizzo would say she's a 10, and nobody at this table says she's a 10.
People could think none of us are attractive, but people could think
not really.
Lizzo's the hottest bitch in the world.
It's pretty narrow what men find attractive. So here's the thing. My issue, if Lizzo wants to believe that she's a 10, that's fine. The issue that I have is that now she is promoting high blood pressure, hypertension, extreme heart disease.
She wants to be like that.
100%.
That is undeniable. She is promoting. She's promoting a poor lifestyle and creating a poor example.
It's more about if you are that way. Being confident in your body. You're being confident. You're showing that you're not embarrassed. You're not insecure. You're being confident with your body and who you are.
Correct, and use that confidence to go to the gym. Go ahead, Brandy.
Well, there's also when you tell a girl you need to be more confident, you can get a girl to believe she's a 10 at some point, but then as soon as you do, the other half of society is you need to humble yourself, and then starts making fun of the plastic surgery and all the stuff that she did to get there.
Is beauty subjective?
Meaning, like
should it be? Is there an objective definition of what should be beautiful and what shouldn't be?
No, because beauty is not the beholder. Like I might find someone really attractive, and you could literally look at me like you guys are talking about Lizzo. Like I guarantee there's people out there who think she's attractive. Like it might not
the majority.
Not the majority.
You're talking about the exception to the rule.
But I'm saying on a less extreme scale, like you put me and her next to each other, and some dude will be like, I fucking hate tattoos. She's ugly as shit, and like talk.
I guarantee you, majority of men would pick you over Lizzo if she was
over Lizzo. But I'm saying when you start,
come on,
no, over Lizzo. Yes, I'm saying like you put me and her. I'm saying like two girls next to each other but have completely different looks. Like you got a bunch of guys will say she's a 10 and I'm a 1 and vice versa.
Right, but they're still going to pick every woman here over Lizzo.
I still think there's
I'm not talking about that. That's why I said on a less extreme
being
scale.
subjectively hot is a thing. There are people that are just subjectively hot. Megan Fox.
Objectively.
Yes.
Objectively, not subjectively.
There are people that are objectively hot.
Yes.
Like you can look at someone and be like, wow, she's attractive. Everyone thinks she's attractive. I mean, if you take the normal everyday girl, yes, to each their own. If you deem her beautiful or desirable.
There have been studies on this specifically where they, again, the 37 culture study, and they found the same signs of facial symmetry, signs of youth, and hip to waist ratio attractive in all of those different scenarios. Number one. And number two, anecdotally, I will tell you, I have hosted 48 bikini competitions. And when I have the men out there and pick whoever's going to win first place, they always pick the same girl. It is not 5 guys picking 5 different girls. They always pick the same top 3. Not the same top 3 every week, but the guy says the girl number 1 is the hottest. The second guy says girl number 1 is the hottest. The third guy says girl number 1 is the hottest. That is how men work. Women, it is much more subjective because there's
Amber Rose is the hottest.
There's so many cues. There's so many cues that we as men have that you might be attracted to us. It might be our shoulders. It might be our money. It might be our intelligence, and it might be our competency. Hold on, Annalise, real quick, and then we're going to go with Kylie. Annalise, what were you saying?
We got to wrap up.
Okay, back like rewinding because you were talking about Lizzo and how she was promoting high blood pressure. Or
yes.
whatever, high cholesterol.
Yes.
Okay, I have like a chronic illness, and at one point I was 60 pounds, and I'm like 5'7", and like at that point in my career, most praise I've ever had in my life, and I was literally dying. So like, wasn't I also promoting like really unhealthy body?
100%.
Yeah.
But people still thought I was attractive. So like, they did.
So the problem is what happens is when you're young, you're smaller, and you already said before you have a young look, and I think what's happened is instead of putting you in the Ford model category, they put you in the infant or fucking pre-adolescent category, and that was a mismatch for you. I think that's the reason why with Lizzo, there's no mismatch. Lizzo is legitimately promoting when people say she's a 10, that's fine. I don't have a problem with her having confidence. Please don't. I'm not trying to shit on Lizzo. What I'm trying to say is when she does that and other women are like, I'm going to do that too, what happens is instead of them living longer lives to be there for their children later in life, to protect their families and provide for their families, women, when they look at Lizzo and they see her put on that much weight and they think that is okay, they are putting their families and their lives in jeopardy by doing so, because it is not my opinion. It is a statistical, unassailable fact that when you have that much body fat, you are going to suffer from heart disease, kidney disease, and there's also new science that's come out that shows mental degeneration from having that much body fat. There's a science, Dr. Perlmutter, you guys can read his book. It shows when people eat that kind of food, it actually creates plaque on the brain. This is a problem that you see people lose their mind when they become that overweight, and that's the problem. That's the issue I'm having. I'm having an objective, factual problem about biology. I don't really give a fuck if she thinks she's a 10.
I just think that there's a total flip side to that where like most models are super skinny.
Sure.
And so people
I have not seen that recently, but okay.
I agree. I have. I agree with you that that's also. I agree with you that's also.
Thing back in the day, yeah.
I see opposite.
I would say
now we're praising obesity.
Now we are.
Who are like the people that we should be talking about because they're more impressionable.
Well, I think
like they're looking up to the super skinny models.
Okay, so what makes a woman beautiful? I think that's probably a better one because
it doesn't matter. It's whatever the younger people are looking at.
It does matter, and I'll tell you why. Because about 8 months, I think it was about 8 months or 9 months ago. About 9 months ago, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition had a morbidly obese woman that was on the cover of it, and we're supposed to hold that woman up as someone who is beautiful, someone who should pass the boner test for most guys.
No,
right?
but there's so many Victoria's Secret cover models that have anorexia, and people are
accepting transgender now too, so that doesn't really count.
True, but if you take like a guy who looks like Seth Rogen or some guy who's like pudgy white little guy with his shirt off, he's not going to be on the cover of Men's Fitness. You see what I'm saying?
What does it have to do with what I'm saying?
Well, what I'm saying is that is a standard of beauty Who gets to decide what's beautiful?
I'm just saying, either way, overweight, underweight, they're both unhealthy things to look
Yeah.
up to and
But-
aspire to.
And while you are
That's
correct,
literally
while you
what
are
I'm
correct,
saying.
underweight to men, to these weird men who like this, is a representation of youth.
But I'm not talking about men. I'm talking about the person, like the woman.
No, I agree with that.
Correct.
No,
I mean,
I'm sorry.
Ariana Grande. I've been quiet for a minute because but
like-
Ariana Grande just came out with this like video that just surfaced that like she's the skinniest she's ever been in her life, and a lot of people are like worried about her health.
Yeah, agree,
right?
totally.
And like she's so frail, and she's saying like she's going on camera, and she had this whole like confessional like I'm the healthiest. Like when those videos that you saw me back was when I was dealing with a lot of depression. I was eating. I had very unhealthy lifestyles, and that was what you guys found attractive.
Mhm.
And now that I'm
Now that I'm on Adderall and I'm in a manic state all the time, now I'm the healthiest I've ever been.
And that, I'm not. That's just she's
I have a
going
perfect
on her.
statement
She's
for
going
this.
on her. She's going on her TikTok and saying whatever. This is my version. My body type right now is I was way unhealthy when I was a little bit more overweight, and now that I'm very frail and skinny. Now everyone's concerned about my weight, but this is my healthy version of my weight. Whether or not we deem that as is that healthy or not, we don't. Who's to say what is healthy
I guess
and
like
what's
there's
not
two
healthy?
things because we're talking about attractiveness and then also healthy. Like they're so different, and I was going off the healthy thing.
Just from the point of Lizzo, the reason why I'm saying it was different is because for Lizzo, it is just simply she has a weight problem, and we want to deny it, and so try to find it as acceptance. But the same thing with somebody being skinny, it's exactly the same, like you say. The difference is in that case, the reason why some people find that attractive is because it mimics youth. That's the reason why. Go ahead.
Okay, so who determines what is attractive and non-attractive?
The market
is women. Women determine what is attractive and what is not attractive, right? If Lizzo was sitting at this table and we went around the table and we're talking about how attractive Lizzo was, we would all have given her a 10. Every one of us would have been like, "Oh, Lizzo, oh my God, you're a fucking 10."
I'm pretty sure
But it
Dabbrick
doesn't
wouldn't
matter.
have.
But it doesn't
Except
matter.
for the dudes.
I'm not talking about dudes. No, not dudes. That's what I'm saying. Women determine what is attractive.
No.
So then we want to talk about so Ariana Grande, right? So she's like losing her weight or whatever. So now, okay, like it variates. So it's like, okay, well, Lizzo is high up right now. She's hot. Everybody likes Lizzo. She's overweight. Let's be overweight because everybody loves Lizzo. She's overweight. Let's be overweight.
It sets the benchmark.
And then it's like, oh, well, now there's an anorexic girl who doesn't eat, who doesn't do any, like she's skin and bone, and she's the attractive one now. All the guys like her now. Now let's be anorexic. Now let's be like, it is women. Like women determine this, right? So like if women like
you can't debate it.
they're the
with
ones
looks
who
versus
determine what. It's not
personality.
men though. Like it's like she said, you guys, right? She was like, you guys say that this is attractive or whatever. No, because guys, we already determined that guys like different things.
If guys sit
like
there
bigger
and
women,
say
guys
that
like skinny
all big
women,
butts
guys
are
like this, guys like that, guys like
All
this,
right.
guys like that.
If
So like
guys-
women compete with each other.
No.
Go ahead, Brandy.
If a bunch of guys though sit there and say they like girls with big butts, everyone's gonna go run and get a BBL.
Like they are. Well, let me.
But
let me
who's
just-
gonna be the woman to start that to where the
let me
other
see if
women
I- Let
follow?
me see if I can round
Kim,
it.
It's the guys that
I'm gonna round the
determine it
corner
because
here.
it's the women that are getting the most attention from the guys.
Can I read the super chats?
Yeah, let me put the period at the end of this sentence here. What Mia was saying, Mia Gia was saying about being anorexic. Who was it? Ariana was?
No, not
Ariana.
anorexic. No.
Ariana Grande.
Not-
Okay,
I'm
so-
just saying she's the skinniest she's ever been, and people are concerned. But she
Yeah,
went.
yeah, yeah.
She went on her TikTok and
Do you
stated that she's
remember-
the healthiest she's
do you
been.
Do you remember when Adele was like really overweight and then she lost a whole lot of weight and everybody goes, "God damn, she looks great," and everybody was like, "Oh, I can't believe she lost so much
Yeah,
weight."
there
And
were
it's like,
women who were
she
like, "You sold us out
She looked
for losing all this weight."
For losing all that
People
weight.
thought that Adele was a fake person.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
she was
right.
like-
Yeah, they had a theory about
They
that,
were,
right?
she
they
was
were
like-
mad
You're right.
because she was such a good. She is such a good singer, and I can't even admit that, but she's such a good singer. She can sing. Come on, let's just say she can.
Yeah.
She has
There's
talent.
$1,500 for a fucking ticket.
You know what?
Caesars.
You know what? You know what? You know what? Michael
Caesars.
Bolton can sing. Doesn't mean I have to like his
They
shit.
don't even know who he is.
Can fucking sing.
Listen,
all
Luther
right?
Vandross can
So-
sing, and he was overweight. Nobody
Yeah.
gave a shit.
All right, so
100%.
So let me
Old Luther, not the
let me
It
turn
comes
the
down to
corner
all
here.
perspective.
Well, no, here's what it comes down to is that like
doesn't matter.
when she lost the weight and she went down to a normal weight, she started looking good and she was no longer fat. People thought that they said sold her out, right? So it's like there's this sort of public opinion that goes along with that because of what she was saying is like girls will set the benchmark for whatever. Like if you're a little overweight, oh, you look great, girl, you go. You know, and they get this sort of reinforcement, especially in the social media age today. Now, the other part of this is that when you look at like there's going to be guys in the chat right now who are going to go, oh, these girls are good, great looking, but they have tattoos, right? Or there's, they have like, yeah, exactly. And I'm looking at, and I'm thinking about this, and I'm going, but they're athletic, and I've seen these comparison kind of things on Twitter where they'll take a really athletic girl who's got a little bit of abs, and she looks kind of like what's John Orlando's girlfriend? Vanessa, who is like, she is a gym rat, and she is just incredibly ripped, and but there's guys that would say that she looks like a man. Right, she looks, and they want a girl who's got more full figure kind of thing. So men have there are a lot of different variety. Men have fetishes, right? Yeah,
There's so many different types.
So I was going to say, it's like I don't have a problem with women who have tattoos, okay, but I do have a problem who have tattoos and they're morbidly obese. So to say that, we've got bulimic models or we've got anorexic models is kind of ridiculous in an age where 75% of the population is overweight and 40% of women are morbidly obese today. So I think it leans much more towards the fat side than it does for the very overly skinny side of things. Sorry, go ahead.
Super chat, shout out to Will Francis. What are these guys' thoughts on women proselytizing therapy for men?
Preaching.
Yeah, was his prophecy. Yeah, preaching. Yeah, keep seeing podcasts on women say men should go to therapy as if that's going to land us Lindsay Palis or something. I don't know the answer to that, but I do know Lindsay Palis is coming on the podcast, so get ready for that.
Therapy is not game,
not metaphorically Lindsay Palis. Actually, Lindsay Palis from Baton Rouge, Louisiana is going to come on.
It's not game. Don't try to lead with your psychologist.
Shout out to TOF, Mike. Just about finished with Very Important People by Dr. Ashley Mears. She's heavily implies that the relationship between male club promoters and the female models they bring to clubs is exploitive. Do you agree, and why? I do not agree with that, because if you go back and read that book, you'll see there's several parts in the book where women are getting free trips to France. They're getting like free stuff all the time. Is it exploitive? It's exploitive for both. There's a lot of men who work in nightlife who are like working 80 hours a week for very little pay, and there's a lot of women who go out and get access to a lot of parties and stuff like that. It's exploitive in this. It's not exploitive because of the one reason: you can leave, you can walk out. This is not your living, so I don't agree with that at all. And I'm going to have, hopefully, I've been in email talks with her, having Professor Mears. She's a professor of sociology at Boston University. On my podcast, one thing. Joe Ramondotti, society lies to women. That's why Rollo observing that the more average-looking girls rate themselves higher. It's because they've been lied to more often. Women tell Lizzo she's a 10, she's a 1. And then let me see if I have. That's it for my.
Okay, let me finish mine. Chalk T once again says this is a female version of the male sexual overperception bias.
Okay, so guys, so the male ready. So here's the male overperception bias. Everybody, listen up. Look.
All right,
so what they do is they give a bunch of women. Yeah. They give a bunch of women and men these different versions of bodies, and they point out which one they think they find the most attractive, and the one they think that the opposite sex finds most attractive. And what men do is they perceive in themselves the Schwarzenegger physique to be most attractive, and women perceive the David Beckham physique to be the most, the lean, the Brad Pitt in Fight Club. To be more attractive. So men perceive themselves to need to be bigger than they actually do. Women do the opposite. Women see the Twiggy or Megan Fox extremely skinny look as being the most attractive, and then men say they're much more into the curvy fitness model look. So women perceive themselves to be less attractive when they're heavier, although men like more curves, and women are the opposite. They like leaner physiques.
This is so dangerous. This is so dangerous.
You can't put everybody in a box. Like
right.
I am
We're all built
the
different.
Living example. I grew up so skinny. Like my entire family had a hard time gaining weight. Like my entire life I was called Anorexic Alley. Like that was my nickname. Like I could not gain weight to save my life. And I think that every man that looks at me wishes I had big tits and a big fat ass, and I don't have that. Like I have to work so hard.
So it's the underperception bias. Yes,
so
it's a female underperception bias.
I will never understand
that. And as far as it goes for guys, like I go for the dad bod. Like I go for the guy that doesn't give a fuck.
I don't think you know what a dad bod is.
We're too late in the show to get into this one.
So many men between their 40s and 50s my entire life. Like granted, when I was
I'm between
20,
my 40s and 50s. Yeah. I don't think you know what a dad bod is.
Yes, I do.
I'll show you some dad bods.
I absolutely love them. I don't want like a full beer gut, but like I am a dad.
That is a dad bod. A full beer gut is a dad bod. I will show you some pictures.
I'm like
Mowing
a
the
fan
lawn.
of a little softness. I don't need a.
That's not a dad bod.
six-pack.
Pulling
That's not a dad
the
bod.
weeds.
All right, well then a soft, soft
Yeah,
body.
so dad bods come from what's it called, prolactin, being
You know what you
excreted
should
in
do?
a man. It's a hormone that causes men to put on a bunch of weight.
I just had a brilliant idea. We should go to like a pool party and like we should look for like the most fattest,
Beach.
chubbiest, whitest guys and go, is that a dad bod? Is that it? Like we
Towel
need
Beach.
we
Go
need
into Towel Beach and then
Shout out to Tao Hakkasan.
We just went to Towel Beach and there was a guys.
Shout out to Wet Republic.
We need to do research. We can't
Just
call
went.
ourselves scientists unless we do some fucking research. Okay.
Just went. There was a lot of cute ones there.
All right, Deadly Duels. Wait, Deadly
Let's
Duels.
do it. No,
Deadly
let's
Duels
do this.
TV says the conundrum in our society. This is a quote. The conundrum in our society, our current society, with all the sexual liberalization for women, is that there are few top echelon men, and most women are sharing these men when women behave badly. E. Pankhurst. Do you know who that is?
Nope.
Okay. Chalk T again. It's not because you are combative. It's because you are combative speaking the language of emotionalism, not rationality. Every sentence you use starts with "I feel." I noticed that. Not rooted in actual facts. Modern Waggy says, shout out to Rolo and the panel. Yay, all you guys. And the Waggies who got work shift early tomorrow. Tip for Beanie. That's you. You're Beanie, by the way. I'm usually Beanie, by the way. We did this on purpose today. Tip Beanie, you're cute, but would up a notch if you were less drunk.
Oh wow!
I didn't say that was it.
Oh wow!
I'm not even drunk.
They called you out, girl. They called you out, girl.
Megan Fox isn't even relevant anymore. Brandon, Rolo was right. Having frame is very important because women can behave like adult children. Rolo needs to make a reaction video about the Bud Light boycott.
We should have talked about that tonight, actually.
I don't need to because
We should have.
because Bud Light was gay before all of this happened.
We should have talked about that, though, right?
Please remember.
From the Midwest, we are having strong opinions towards a 28-year-old man pretending to be a 6-year-old girl. Sales are down all over town. Roughnecks. Okay, that's it. We're good. All right, let's get out of here.
Endings.
Hey, guys, listen.
I'm actually not even drunk.